Right, morning all. I thought I'd do a video regarding depression. Depression is a serious illness, as you know, and can cause other type of illnesses such as stress, anxiety, pain, feel hopefulness. You feel like down in the dumps, don't think there's no hope out there. You don't know who to turn to, what to do. Sometimes people feel like it's a failure of life. Some people just don't want to deal with life anymore and want to consider doing self-harm. Well, I've gone through all that, and I still do suffer with depression and anxiety and stress, but I have to deal with it day by day. Who can help you when you're going through that situation? What's the cause of the situation? Well, I'm going to tell you what my cause was, how I started off with depression and stress and anxiety. My depression started when my dad died. We all have that love for our friends, our families. And when you lose someone that you dearly love and who's brought you into the world for many, many years, and you lose them through a horrible illness, then it does put you down. It makes you a different person because you're not seeing that person anymore. And it can cause a lot of stress and anxiety and depression. So that can be a cause of it. Another cause can be cyberbullying, which I've gone through many times, where people lie about you. They put videos up about you, and they just completely target you because they don't like you for the person who you are. They lie and slander your name. They call you nasty names. They threaten you. They lie about you. And they turn people against you. They lie to your friends, and your friends turn against you. And that too can cause depression, stress, anxiety. Another form of depression is when you've got no money, you can't pay your bills, you've got no money for food, you don't know when your next meal's going to be, you don't know if you can pay all your bills, and you're concerned about that you might be evicted. So I've gone through all that. But a major thing that happened to me was all the stress and anxiety and depression from the people that's caused me problems on social media. And there was quite a few people that done it, actually. People you knew and trusted, thought you were your friends, and they turn against you because they hear things about you, where people lie about you, and they rather believe the liars than the person they've known for years and years and years. I've known people for many years, and they just turned against me for reasons unknown. And when they do nasty content on you, video content, and talk really bad about you, it's not a nice thing to see. It really isn't. Because that can turn your world upside down. And when that happens, you just don't know what way to turn. You don't really want to be getting involved or getting your family or friends involved in it, in case you feel like they will be the next target from the haters and the bullies out there, the ones who like to cause drama, the ones who love slandering you and lying about you, making you the bad person when you're not. And when you're going through shit like that, you feel like self-harming yourself, which I have done a few times, I admit. I regret it. I've taken an overdose or attempted an overdose. A couple of times I've rang up emergency services and said that I feel like self-harming myself, and I've had to go to the hospital because of that. And I've had to seek psychiatrist help. Hell, I was even on a fucking 16-week thing that the psychiatrist put me on to get my life back together. And that was about 4 years ago. But people just don't understand when they target you that they are actually destroying you. They turn your world upside down constantly. Constantly. And you just don't know what way to turn sometimes, So, you don't really want to be talking to your family in case you feel like your family's going to get involved, or they might target your family next, which one person did not too long ago, beginning of the year, brought my family into this situation for no reason whatsoever. Brought my ex-wife into it, called me a racist. How can I be a racist if my wife was Filipino and I've got mixed children, half English, half Filipino? So that don't make sense. They slandered me. They called me a sex offender, a child abuser, everything. I had a fucking breakdown because they was trying to put the video viral. And when you do that, you don't know how many people are going to watch it. There's hundreds of people, thousands of people who watch it and think that you're that person that the other people have made you look like, when you're not. How do you prove yourself that you're not what they say you are? Because I had a nasty video done and I had to get the police involved. I'm not going to say the person's name on the YouTube channel, but he was arrested. He's supposed to be ending up in court, but I've still not heard anything about that. So that's stressful, just to find out, what the hell is happening. Sometimes you might get a phone call from the police saying, well, because of the situation at the moment with the C-19, everything's put on hold because of social distancing. The court's only seeing people who have actually been arrested and been thrown in prison. The ones who've been arrested and put on bail, it's not like an emergency service for them. It's like, well, we'll put them on hold. We'll see them when we're ready. 7 months I think it's now, and the guy's still not been to court. And waiting to find out exactly what's happening, it's very stressful upon myself. Now, when people target you, it's not nice. No, bullying is a nasty thing, yeah. And I've been bullied throughout my whole life, from school all up to here on social media. And people just don't give a shit when they attack you and bully you. I know people who've been bullied and attacked on YouTube and closed their accounts down because I just didn't want to be part of the fucking bullshit bullying. But I still see shit going on. Even today, I watched a video where someone on this community is going around starting shit up again. Now, what's wrong with that person, man? Why can't they just get a fucking knife and do what they're supposed to be doing? Paranormal or whatever. Do they really like to see people being targeted and destroyed? Oh yeah, I've had problems with people in the past. They've done videos on me and I've done videos on them. And the reason why I've done videos on me because they was targeting me. So I was targeting them back. And I even called one particular person a liar about his health issue. And it's only done till one particular day. I saw a video. And yeah, I thought, wow, fucking hell, the guy was telling the truth all the time. And we talk to each other now. We've amended our situation, our problems. But who do you turn to when you're going, feeling down, acting depressive, you don't want your family to get involved, or your closest friends, because you feel like if you start talking about it, if it gets back to the person who's causing all this shit, all the hate, all the cyberbullying, they're going to be the next target. Well, there are organisations out there that can help you out. I can't give you exact hang on a minute, I can't even talk. I can't give you the exact organisations, but there are organisations that can help you when you're going through the shit I'm going through. But even when they say that, they're there to talk to you, no one answers the fucking phone. So you've got to have like a backup. And if you have got a friend or family who doesn't really use social media a lot, then okay, you can talk to them about it. And hopefully they can advise you what to do. No, even the shit I'm going through at the moment, I believe it's what's caused me to have all these fucking weird nightmares and dreams and shit. I don't even feel like I'm myself sometimes. I get them days where I feel so stressed out, so depressed. I don't feel like I'm myself, I take antidepressants every day, and they're supposed to help. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So even the doctors, at the situation, you can't even see, get an appointment with the doctors. Because all the doctors are still closed because of this C-19 situation. Trying to get an appointment around here, my doctors, is like trying to make an appointment with the Queen, which is impossible. Even when you ring them up, you're on hold for up to an hour, sometimes 2 hours. And that's costing you a fucking, excuse my French, but that is costing you money on your phone bill. And you ain't got the money to pay your phone bill at the end of the month, then your phone's disconnected and your internet's disconnected. Now, I'm lucky because my phone contract, I have X amount of minutes to, make certain calls. And, my doctor's is only around the corner. But the thing is, you still can't get in. You have to buzz the buzzer and say, look, I need another certain medication because I'm running out, kind of thing. And sometimes with my doctors, you don't even see the same doctor. So when you go around there to get a new prescription, I say, yeah, okay, it'll be there in 2 days' time. Great, thanks. You go around 2 day time and there's no medication there. So you go back around the doctors and buzz and say, look, my medication's not there. Why is it not there? Oh, because the doctor needs to review you. Well, how the fuck can he review you if you can't get to see the doctor? No. Life's shit sometimes, guys. It really is shit. Now, whatever situation you go through, and so I'm not reading chat, whatever situation you go through that causes you stress, anxiety, depression, and make you kind of feel low, there are people out there that can help you. You just have to get on your internet and do a Google search. There are organisations out there who can talk to you. Even if you ring, 111, the non-emergency emergency services, they're there to help you and talk to you. And they can put you through on certain numbers or websites addresses where you can actually talk to them. But do they really help? Some do, some don't. No, last time I ended up in hospital was because I nearly had a fucking breakdown. Well, I did have a breakdown live on stream. And people saying, ring 999 up, letting them know what's going on. And I wasn't going to do it, but, I did. And I ended up going back to hospital because having a nervous breakdown live on stream. So why do people do this to you? What is the purpose of people causing another person all these illnesses? Because it ain't just one illness, it's several illnesses people are causing you. Stress, depression, anxiety. They're lying about you. They're slandering your name. They're making people believe what they're saying and making you look like a bad person when you're not. And that's happened to me fucking many times. Many times. Now, I've never done harm to anyone. I'm a great person if you get to know me. And I know some, I'm not reading chat, sorry. I know a lot of you know me, yeah. A lot of you know me for years. I can be a really fun-loving guy. And I'm sure there's other people out there who's going through the same shit as me, can be a fun, loving, kind, generous person. But you've got the hateful sons of bitches out there who don't like you because of the person you are. They go around talking shit about you. They try to get as much information about you. And they twist it. They twist it like a knot. And that knot is not very nice to have. You can't undo that knot. Only they can by coming back and apologising and saying what I said was a load of lies and bullshit. But then they ain't going to do that because it's going to make them look fucking stupid on social media, don't it? Now, I have days where I can go on to people's streams and have a good laugh and a joke. Here I was on Glorious Dave's stream last night. And we had a good night last night. Although I didn't get to bed till 7 o'clock in the morning and had to sleep most of the fucking day because I was so goddamn tired. But it was a good night. Even though they was taking the piss out of me for a couple of hours. They was taking the piss out of me. Totally. But I knew it was a laugh. A laugh and a joke. But some people might have thought, that poor guy, why is he having that done to him? Well, you can have a laugh and a joke, but then there is the serious side of things as well. And the serious side is when people really attack you and it's not a joke. Now, last night was a good night, I admit, I even called them a few things, as a joke, and they took it as a joke. And that helped me yesterday, You do get the days where it helps you. It kind of relaxes you. It takes that stress and anxiety away. But then the next day can be a different day. That next day can turn things around. You feel just like lonely and sad and depressed. And you feel a different person sometimes. No, the stress and anxiety I've had over the last several years hasn't really helped me in a certain way, because I have many weird dreams, nightmares. And it ain't nice to have nightmares. Dreams, some of the dreams I have are interesting. Some of them have been bloody funny, actually. Some of them have been confusing. But when you have the nightmares, who do you talk about? Or who do you talk to about the nightmares? I had a dream catcher on my bedroom wall. And I've had it there for a few years. And every night when I go to sleep, I always seem to have like several different dreams that never end. I could be dreaming about being a space pilot, a hero, whatever. And it doesn't end because it stops halfway. So I never know how that dream ends. And as it gets to the interest bit, it stops and a new dream comes in. And I have 7, 8, 9 different dreams a day. Well, night actually, not day. But then, not long ago, someone told me to take the dream catcher out. So I've taken the dream catcher out. It's been out for about a week. The dreams have lowered down, but now I'm getting nightmares. Really weird nightmares. So I might have to bring the dream catcher back in. If it's going to help or not, I don't know. I think when, you're going through a lot of stress and depression, you are going to have some of the good days, but you're going to have some of the bad days. That's part of life. And if you are going through the same situation as me, there are people out there who will talk to you. You've got your friends, your family, if they're not on social media, or if they are on social media, just don't tell people that you're going to be talking to your friends and family about the situation you're going through. Because some of the nasty little shits out there on social media can get a word about it and use what you've been talking to your friends and family and twist it and use it against you and make you more ill. And just generally like spread lies about you. Oh, he's not disabled. Oh, that guy's a bit of a weirdo because he collects dolls. What does he do? What does he do with dolls? If he plays with dolls, what does he do with children? There are many people who collect dolls out there. I know several people, men who collect dolls. It don't mean that we're weirdos. And I've been called a weirdo because I collect dolls. So fucking what? What's it to do you what I collect? Don't mean that we're weird. Don't mean that we're some kind of sex offenders or shit like that. It's what you think in your own fucking mind that puts it into, that makes us look like bad people when you go around spreading rumours and shit about us. And I don't just collect dolls, I collect clocks. I've started collecting African tribal stuff. Hell, the other day I went to the car boot fair and I picked up several Bibles. And a couple of those go back to early 1900s. Not, I think one is 1922. And I said, well, why are you going to the car boot fair if you ain't got the money to buy your food? Because I've learned how to budget my money. And if I put stuff on eBay, it's got no one's fucking business on what I sell on eBay. It's my own personal belongings. And yet, over the last 4 years, people are contacting the DWP. Oh, he's defrauding the DWP because he's selling on eBay. The DWP does not give a shit if you're selling on eBay because it's your own personal fucking belongings. If I want to sell the whole content of my flat, I can do it without getting into trouble. And it's got none of your goddamn business on what I do with my belongings in my home. But yeah, you know, over the last few years, well, he's making hundreds of thousands of pounds on eBay and like he's not declaring it. The first time I had to go down under a caution and an interview. And I'd take bank statements to prove what income I was getting. And I've proved myself that I wasn't making enough money on eBay to defraud anyone. Then the next year, it happened again. Third year, it happened again. And I was getting totally pissed off with this. So I actually done a live stream talking to the DWP. And they asked me, are the stuff I'm selling, are they your own personal belongings? Yes, they are. Well, you're not doing nothing wrong then. If you're going out and buying like 20 cases of like certain things, let's say let's say you buy 20 cases of mobile phones and each case has got like 6 mobile phones in, yeah? Then they will class that as a business. Then you've got to declare what you're buying and selling. And they will take into account the cost that you've had to pay out, the cost of listing it on eBay, the cost of the final fees on eBay, and the cost of your PayPal when you receive the money, because PayPal takes money out of it as well. So if you bought 20 cases of like mobile phones and it costs you like £100 per case, and you're selling the mobile phones for £100 each, and it's 20, that's £2,000. And if you've got 100 cases, that's £20,000. But then time you take your eBay account, your fees and all that kind of shit out, you're probably making about 16, 17 grand. And then you would have to declare it. Yeah, of course you would. You know, you can even have 16 grand in your bank account and it's not going to affect your ESA or universal credit or whatever you want. But when you've got snidey little hateful people out there keep causing you problems and saying, oh, he's making hundreds of pounds out there, it ain't nice because you're lying. You're actually committing a crime. Do you know that? You're actually committing a crime. Slander. Definition of character. That's in one way malicious communications, like the person who got arrested was charged with malicious communications. You know, people sell stuff because they're trying to make ends meet. You know, I have a very low income, so I now budget my money. You know, I put so much away for food each week. And if I put stuff on eBay, then that's the money I use to go to a car boot fair and buy a few things to replace the things I've actually like sold. Now, there's a video out there where some little shit is calculating how much money I've made on eBay over the last 8 years. And the DWP saw that and they just laughed at it. They said, well, they've worked out $8,000 in a year. Well, that's £1,000 for 1 year, innit? Yeah. Well, we ain't going to do anything about that because you're not doing nothing wrong. You want to sell your own personal belongings, you sell your own personal belongings, because that way it helps you. Then that way also you don't have to try and declare other income from the social. So if I could go out and get a job tomorrow, I would do, but I can't because of my situation, my health situation, the stress, anxiety, depression. And when you got nasty little shits out there that's causing you depression, stress, and anxiety, how can you go out and actually find a job? Some people say, well, if you go and find a job, it might actually lower your stress, depression, anxiety. Well, maybe yes, maybe no. Because you go out and get a job, you've got the stress of wondering where you're going to get the money to buy new clothes, shoes. Going to wonder when you're finding the money to get the travel costs to go to your new job. You have to get up early in the morning. Now, I know the social now actually does help some people with the actual cost of buying clothes for a job. But what if it's a job that you don't like? Eventually, you think you're going to like it, but you work there for a couple of days and you think it's just ain't the kind of job that you really like. That can also accelerate your stress and depression. It's not that, you want to go out looking for a job or want a job. I do want a job. I want to be at this fucking flat somewhere. That's why I go out, And if I ain't got the money, I'll go out, take a walk. That's why I started bushcrafting and building a shelter up where I do milk detecting with the permission of the landlord. So I don't want to be in this house or flat, being stressed out day in and day out. And what happens? You get nasty people saying, oh, well, he's well enough to go out and build a shelter, and then he's well enough to go and work. And I sold that to my advisor. And again, she laughs. She goes, well, hang on a minute. You're out there building something, yeah? Well, that's exercise, for one. You're getting air in your lungs. And you're trying to get yourself better. I said, yeah. And I turned around and said, someone might see my shelter one day and think, well, you're handy with wood, maybe I might get a job doing some kind of like construction or something, which I wouldn't mind doing. But I do have other mental situations like vertigo. I can't go up a ladder without having the fear of falling down. My strength isn't all that good, I can probably pick up a 10 kilo package. Like, when you go to Lidl's and you get the cat litter, which is 10 kilos, I think it is, that, is quite heavy and I have a bit of a struggle carrying it home. So my strength isn't really good. But I try to rebuild my strength by going out and building things. But when people see that you're trying to just chill out and, build something out of nothing, they start shit on you. Why? Because they're fucking jealous or something, Oh, I wish I could do that. I can't go out and do that. Let's pick on Steve, shall we? Yeah, let's say, I'm going to report him because he's building a shelter. If he's well enough to build that, then he's well enough to find a job. Mental health is a situation which some people don't understand. Now, if you have got it, and I know a few people have got it, they know the way I feel and other people feel. If you've been going through the hate and the cyberbullying yourself, then you know how other people feel. But when you get the people causing the hate and the cyberbullying, why do they do it? Is it because they've had it themselves and they're just like taking it on other people? Was they brought up wrongly? Was they abused when they was kids? Or do they not have the fun and enjoyment that we sometimes have? And they're jealous of because we are who we are? A couple of times I need to close your channel down. And quite a few times I said, look, I don't give a fuck what you say. Because it's all untrue. You're just lying. You're slandering my name. And the true people out there, your true friends, won't believe it anyway. And I've been told that many times. But there are friends out there who say they are your friends, but they listen to the lies and the bullshit that people say about you, and they turn against you. I've had people turn against me. I've had people come back to me and say, I'm sorry that I believed that shit, Steve. No, it ain't just me, it's other people that's going through the same shit as me. You know, with the stress and depression, you know, the mental health issues, you know, illnesses. And I say, you know, a couple of years ago, I wasn't no goody. Someone's going to shit talk me and put videos up on me. I was going to do the same back, which I did do. And which I regret, because when you're actually doing it yourself, you know, when you only go back at a person, people don't realise there's two sides of stories. And when they see that what you're doing, and they've not seen the other person rip you apart, and they can turn around and say, oh, well, that guy Steve's a bit of a fucking arsehole, and, you know, look, he's ripping into that guy left, right, and centre. And I said, look, you know, there are two sides of the stories, and, like, you know, if you're not watching the other side of the story, you can't be choosing, you know, kind of thing, and it's wrong to choose anyway. You should be keeping out of the situation. And a lot of people did not keep out the situation. They made it worse. A lot worse. And when they know the truth, the real truth, then yeah, they come back and try to be buddy, you know, I'm sorry, Steve, you know. Yeah, you know, it's nice to, like, forgive and forget, you know, kind of thing. You know, I've forgiven people for the way they treat me, and they've forgiven me for what I said about them as well, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, we kind of, like, turned a new leaf. But there are people still out there from the old times still causing shit. Now, if you can't get on with someone, just fucking don't bother going to the channel. Don't listen to the garbage, the bullshit. Ignore them. Because what they're saying about you, you know is not true. And if other people go and listen to it, then they are as bad as the person who's given that the full fucking bullshit. Because they don't know the truth behind the whole matter. And I did watch a video today earlier regarding someone who's causing shit again. Why? I don't know. I don't know why. And I thought, I don't know why this particular person, you know, retaliates on them, but I can understand the situation that person don't want to see other people keep getting attacked. So I can understand that, you know, the person's trying to defend his friend or her friend. So I'm not saying it was a him or her. And I sat there and watched the whole video. And I'm thinking, well, why is this person, you know, addressing it? You know, we know that what they're saying about a particular person Well, that particular person's always been causing shit through social media for years. And they probably always will. And I thought, you know, the person that did a video today, I thought, you're just wasting your time because they're going to continue doing it, you know. And I was going to leave a message or comment, but the comments were disabled. And I do want to leave a comment in case it got back to the person who's been starting shit up again. And I don't want to be dragged into it. But bullying will never stop. Even the police officer told me that when they arrested the person who done the nasty contents on me. I said, look, bullying is part of the circle that makes the world go around. It's like, you know, the good and evil. You got a lot of good people out there, and then you got a lot of bad people out there. Now, if you take one of those away, it's going to stop the world in it. I said, yeah, but it'd be nice if you had nothing but good, love, compassion. Yeah, it would, but it ain't going to happen. Not in this world, not on this planet. But even when you get left alone, you feel that, you know, there are people still talking shit about you. They always are. But what can you do about it? Ignore it. That's what I had to do, is ignore it. Even when people say, like, oh, so-and-so was talking shit about you last night, or today, or they're going to be talking shit about you next week, well, let them. Fuck them. If they do it and people find out who's actually behind it, and they can send me screenshots, video content, audio recordings, then I just download it, and I think it's bad enough, I'll just take it down to the police and let them deal with it. But you've got to realise, though, screenshots can be doctored. And I mean they can be doctored. You know, with the software nowadays, you know, you've even got like fucking apps on mobile phones where you can stick a ghost behind you, make it look real. So they can do that, you know, all they got to do is, like, you know, screenshot and edit out stuff and make it look like someone's talking shit about you. But what I said, if someone's got a problem with me, come and talk to me. You can do it publicly. You can do it privately. I don't give a shit. But they won't do it publicly because they know that people find out who they are either through, you know, face-to-face contact on social media or through voice. You know, just hearing someone's voice, you'd probably recognise that person. No, I just wish it would all stop. I wish people would leave people alone. But it don't seem to be happening, does it? There's always got to be haters. There's always got to be trolls out there. There's always got to be cyberbullies out there. And when they were attacking you left, right and centre, they don't know what kind of damage they're doing to that innocent person. And I've gone through that shit so much. And when it happens, they don't realise it changes your life. And then you get the days where you feel happy. You get the days where you feel sad and miserable. You get the days where you feel like, fuck this, I just want to go and walk underneath a bus, or jump in front of a train, or take an overdose. That, guys, ain't worth the hassle. I tell you, man, it's not worth the hassle. Because if you do something stupid like that, you are actually not affecting your friends, but you're affecting your family. You know, your family love you. They're there to help you and talk to you, if they do, unless you don't get on with your friends and family. And you're a sad, little lonely sod like I am sometimes, but, you know, I've got my sisters I can talk to. And I've got people on social media who, you know, they've even come to me and said, look, I don't know you, Steve, but if ever you want to have a chat, mate, come and talk to me, because I've gone through the same shit. So you even get strangers coming to you and saying, look, you know, if you need to have a chat, talk to me. Even Dave, you know, he's always said to me, like, you know, I'm here if you need a chat, Steve. But the thing is, sometimes I don't really want to be chatting to people because I don't want them getting involved in the situation. I don't want people feeling sorry for me, kind of thing. And I'm not doing the stream to make people feel sorry for me. I'm doing the stream to let you know that when people attack you or when you lose someone, stress and depression and anxiety is a serious illness, and it can seriously change people throughout their whole life. You can be on medication for your whole life. Now, I've tried getting off my antidepressants 3 times. 3 times I lowered it. 3 times I started getting better. But what happens next? Someone comes along, starts shit, cyberbullies you, make you go back to the way you were. You have to go back onto your full dose of medication. And it's those people that ruin people's lives because they got no life themselves. I bet some of these people, especially the trolls, exploiting those little kids sitting in the basement, hiding behind the keyboard. But I know there's a lot of people out there who are supposed to be adults that do as bad as what kids do. Even the kids nowadays show a bit more respect to adults. When I had a lot of pain in my leg, and I'm talking about a year ago, yeah. I have arthritis in my hands and my knees. I even had an X-ray when I broke my leg. The hospital accidentally X-rayed my knee instead of my tibia, and I was walking around on a broken tibia for fucking 2 months until I had to go back. So much pain. They actually did a second X-ray and said, "Oh yeah, sorry mate, you got a broken tibia. We'll have to put a cast on that." But with the first X-ray they'd done, they said your kneecap's wearing away, so that's going to give you pain. It's going to cause you to have arthritis, and maybe sometime in the future you may have to have an operation and have your knee joint redone. And that was in 2015, 2016, something like that. I still had the crutches from the hospital in my bloody cupboard, actually, which I never took back. But I was getting on a bus one day, and I had my walking stick to help me walk around. And this young black schoolgirl was sitting there. And she looked up at me and she goes, "Would you like this seat, sir?" I said, "Oh, yeah." "Very kind of you, young girl." "Oh, that's right." And she got up and she stood there and she smiled at me. I smiled back. I said, "You sure?" "Yeah, yeah." And although she still had to, wait until about 5 or 6 stops, she got off before I did, actually. It was at least, the kindness of her showing, that she cared for someone who had a bad leg, I suppose, being me. And I think with kids nowadays, they do show a lot more, I'm not saying every kid, but there are a lot more kids out there that show respect to the elder generation nowadays. Not when we was like fucking talking about, when going back when we was kids, we didn't really respect our family, our kids, our parents, did we? We always ended up getting a good belting sometimes, But, kids nowadays do kind of respect the elders. That's how I see it anyway. Some people probably turn around and say, no, I disagree there. Well, that's something that you can either disagree or agree with anyway. I'm not saying some of these haters and trolls are teenage kids, because I think teenage kids have more better things to do than cause problems. You can see a kid on the bus or walking on the street texting their friends all the time, having a good laugh, wondering when they're going to have your next meet-up, when the next party's going to be. you know, whether a disco or a birthday or something like that, they're always like chatting to their friends. You know, social media. I'm not saying it ain't kids, but it could be some kids fucking around with us. But I have noticed a lot of adults are just mean, hateful people. What's happened to the generation of adulthood? Why are so many people so hateful against each other? Don't you think there's enough shit going on in the world as it is? With famine, plagues, lack of water in certain countries. You know, all this government political bullshit that's going on there, making millions of people unemployed because one particular country decides to accidentally let a virus go viral. I'm not going to get into that bit, but, you know, since it started, millions of people have lost their jobs. Millions of people. You know, they can't get back on the track and do what they used to do. You know, millions of people have had to go and sign on. And they have to now realise what it's like being on unemployment. And I'm pretty sure the person who targeted me is probably one of those people who are now on unemployment. I wonder what he feels like now when he calls us the scumbags of the world, the ones who beg for money. I wonder what they feel like now when they've lost their jobs, if they've lost their jobs. You know, I do hope that some people haven't lost their jobs, but I wonder how they feel when they target us and say that we're scumbags and, you know, we benefit frauders and thieves and, you know, we're stealing tax money and shit like that. But I don't realise, you know, people like me did work quite a lot. You know, if I put on every job I have on my CV, it probably bore the person who's interviewing me. I had many jobs. I've worked in 3 different supermarkets. I've worked with 2 different security firms. I've worked with a hotel, and it was a big famous hotel up London, the Harwood Hotel. I worked with those. I've even done voluntary work without paying. And you know what? I've said like, oh, I'm doing voluntary work. Oh, I'm going to report you because you're doing voluntary work and you're being paid for it. No, when you do voluntary work, you do not get paid for it. That's the situation. That is the point of volunteering, to do a job. Volunteering at a charity shop, you'd not get paid. And I worked for 2 different charity shops. One of them only lasted a couple of days because I suddenly went down ill, which I believe might have been a book that had a negative spirit attached to it, and maybe I got possessed by the spirit that may have been attached to the book. If you want to believe that, that's up to you, but I'm being honest with that. There are ways that, you know, you can be possessed by a haunted object. And I still have the book in the living room. What else have I done in my life? Job-wise, I can't think. You know, it's so hard to try to think back on early years. And I mean, it's bloody hard to think back, especially when you're going through the stress and depression and anxiety. It you know, it does affect your brain. Well, it affects my brain. You know, a few months ago, I couldn't even remember most of my childhood. But now it's completely different. You know, I can't remember what I did yesterday or the day before, but suddenly something from my childhood might pop up. I think, you know, the depression actually affects your brain. Must do. Because like when you have thoughts about committing suicide or, you know, self-harm or jumping under the front of a bus or a train, which I won't do, just think, you know, those people have done it. Although they've ended their life, but it's actually disrupted someone else's life. You know, the poor innocent person who's knocked you down, either in a car, bus, train, lorry. How do you think they feel when you actually go out and do self-harm to yourself. How do you feel your family feels when you take an overdose? It's not nice for the family, is it? Now, there is help out there. Let's say I went on a 16-week course to get my life back together. And this was from like 2016, I think it was. I actually found my folder where I had to, like, when I was going to this course, it's like a meeting with a psychiatry officer. And I had to go out and buy a book, a journal, and write down what I'd done every single day, like from the time I got up, what time I get up, what time I showered, dressed, what time I had my breakfast, what I'd done during the daytime. And that really did help. It really helped. And at the end of the course, I said, thank you so much to the lady. It was a Chinese lady. And I found out she liked plants. So the last day on the course, I actually went and bought some plants for her. And I gave them as a thank you. So there are people out there who will help you. But it can be hard trying to find the right people. And some people say, well, the right people are your family, your friends. Yeah, they are. But if you ain't got no family and friends, you need to do a search on, Google. And you can't find nothing, just ring the emergency service up. They'll tell you what, who you can talk to. They'll give you some phone numbers and web addresses. But again, some of them will talk to you for a little while, calm you down, and that's it. You don't hear from them again. Maybe because they're overwhelmed with other people who rings them, 24/7 day. Because some of these organisations are open 24/7, just like, the emergency services. But when you ring, like, emergency service and you're saying, well, like, I feel like doing this, it feels like you're wasting them time, but you're not. You're crying out for the help. And that's what they're there for, to help you. As I say, with all this hate going out there, people picking on people and bullying people and slandering people, they don't realise what damage they're doing to that person who they're targeting. It causes so much stress and anxiety and depression. And sometimes you just feel like saying fuck it to all of it, kind of thing. But if you do that, then you're letting them bullies, them arseholes out there, win. They ain't going to worry about if you take yourself, and jump over and do a bus or a train or take an overdose. They ain't going to worry about that. They want your future, don't they? Maybe later, once they hear about, so-and-so took their life because of cyberbullying, and a certain person were, the ones that caused it, then yeah, it's going to play on their mind for the rest of their life, won't they? And you know what? They can be arrested for that. GBH. Although it's not physical, like general bodily harm, there is like two types of GBHs. I can't remember what they're called, but there is one where you can be arrested by actually making someone do self-harm to them, and you can be put inside for that. Not 6 months, but 6 years. So you've got to realise, is it even worth keep doing the shit that you're doing on social media, bullying people and wrecking their bloody lives, which they don't deserve? Because you may have a shitty life, don't make you the person to start up and call someone else to have a shitty life. It's not fair. You've had a shit life, then go and seek fucking advice from someone, Stop picking on people because you're jealous of them, because they might have a bigger channel or a better channel, or they might have more friends than you got. Grow the fuck up. Be a human being. Go out and do something useful with your life. Instead of being negative all the time, do something fucking positive. Go and help the next door lady who can't go out and mow her lawn. Go and try and get a job in a charity shop. Go and clean up the local park like I've done in the past. Go out, spend a bit of my hours during the daytime and clean up some of the shit that people leave. Why do you think I do magnet fishing? Because there's so many lakes and rivers out there which are polluted, where people are so careless or they just don't give a shit when they throw their rubbish. I've been praised to left, right and centre by people walking up to me and saying, man, you're doing a great job there by taking that shit out that river. You're making that river cleaner. You're making it a bit more environmental for the things that live in the river or the lake. I said, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate. No, you are. You know, there might be things in that river that can't even live there because of the shit that people thrown in there, you know, like toxic waste and, you know, paraffin, gas cylinders, you know, it's all causing problems with the rivers and the lakes. And I go to Clapham Common, and they've got 3 fishing lakes up there. And I pulled so much shit out there. So much shit. You know, iron bars, poles, old newspaper signs, you know, the ones that they got the big metal signs that they used to have outside the shop in the 40s, 50s, 60s. I actually pulled one out, which was the Daily News one. And I think it said that it was like 1967 on the sign. I pulled that out. I've even gone in the lake and I've pulled out bottles, glasses, you know, and other dangerous stuff. I've pulled out bullets from rivers and lakes. I put my life in danger just to clear rivers out, because I could cut myself open and die with some kind of infectious disease that people putting in the rivers and the lakes. And people don't realise that. And I think that's just like, you know, bullying the actual landscape. It's like bullying people on YouTube or social media. They don't give a fuck about what they're doing. Of course they don't. Oh, and fly tipping. You know, all that kind of shit. Now, I put myself out and done a lot of good stuff in the past, and people don't realise the amount of things I do for not just, you know, the general public and friends and relatives, but for the environment. And I got slagged off for that as well. Oh, well, we can go out magnet fishing, you know, and he's pulling out these big iron bars, and why can't he go and get a job? Well, to me, that is like a job. It seemed like a job because you're cleaning the rivers and the lakes. It's a bit like the dustman coming in emptying your dust cart, you know, your dustbin, your wheelie bin. I never got paid for it. You know, sometimes you can find good stuff down there as well, you know. I found like a little Gallinger. There's no like barrel or no handles to it, but I have it in a box in my living room. I showed people, wow, fucking hell, Steve, that's interesting. Do you think it's haunted? No, of course it ain't haunted. Well, you don't know if it might have been used as a weapon in the early Victorian times. You know, someone could have been getting robbed, or someone was trying to defend himself and shot the robber, or the robber shot the innocent person and get the money. Then he threw his gun in the river. I even showed you a picture of the police officers over at Clapham Common. I said, is that legal? He goes, nah. He goes, I don't think you'd be able to restaurate it, would you really? I said, no, not really. He goes, it's just one of those things that, you know, you can use as a talkable piece. Have it in, like, you know, in a cabinet or something. And they said it was an interesting kind of like object I found. And even on Clapham Common, when I'm actually magnet fishing, I put a little video up of me doing magnet fishing, and people pissed themselves with laughter because the little old lady, I had a magnet and I was just like dragging it along the side, because that's where a lot of coin used to get not falling out people's pockets. You know, you can pick up the 1p's, 2p's, 5p's, 10p's, but it doesn't pick up the pounds and 50p's. And I was just dragging along, you know, slowly trying to get some of that crap out of the lake. And this little old lady comes up and he goes, "Hello, love. What are you doing? You walking your fish?" And I turned and I said, "No, I'm magnet fishing, love." And that was on my video, and a lot of people saw it and thought it's so funny, you know, even Ewick and, you know, a lot of other people just pissed themselves laughing over that video. And when you're out, you know, helping people or helping the environment, it puts that light into you. You know, you feel that you're doing something, you're helping someone out or helping the environment out. How many people out there on YouTube wants to put themselves out and help people? Not many. Not many. They rather cause problems than actually help people with problems. That's the way life is, I suppose. You know, so this ain't about me. You know, it is and it isn't. You know, I'm just saying, you know, with stress and anxiety and depression, you know, you do have the days where, you know, you feel sad and lonely and you just feel like saying, fuck it. Like today, you know, I was tired because I was on Dave's channel for a few hours last night. And I'm not blaming Dave. That's my own, you know, it's up to me if I wanted to be on there or not, you know, kind of thing. And Dave was good enough to have, like, you know, a very long stream last night. And I was on there for about 4 hours, 5 hours. And that's taking the piss out of me, but I was okay with that. You know. So I'm not reading chat, by the way. So I can't be asked for chat tonight. You know, I'm just expressing, you know, the things that I've gone through and what other people are going through. And I can't see what the need of this shit, you know, why they do it. But some people, you know, the haters out there ain't gonna like me even talking about it, I suppose. And I'll probably get videos up and saying, "Oh, Steve's talking shit. He's doing cyberbullying." No, he ain't. I'm saying cyberbullying should be stopped, and it is a serious offence now. You can be arrested for it if you get found out and people know who you are. All they need is your name, address, contact details, and it doesn't matter what country you're in, because if they think someone is being attacked by a cyberbully and the cyberbully is causing so much hate and grief to that person and it's making the person very low down and suicidal thoughts and stuff like that, and he can prove who that person is. Let's say the person lives in, I'm not saying all Americans are bullies, you know, but there are a few bullies that I know in America, yeah. Let's say someone lives in America, yeah, or in Spain. You know, the police can contact the local police authorities there and get them involved in it. So you can't be saying, "Oh, well, you live in the UK, I can target you left, right, and centre," and the police here ain't going to do nothing. They will. Because I know a lot of countries are actually dealing cyberbullying as a serious crime right now. And you can be arrested for cyberbullying. And I hope you do get arrested. Because the person who put videos on for me, he had all his gear confiscated, although he's got it back now. And I wouldn't be surprised if he still comes on and watch my channel time to time. There you do. Thank you for coming on and showing a little bit of support on my channel. But hey, what you're going to get is what you deserve. And I hope they fucking put you inside and throw the key away. Because you deserve it. And I say, like, you know, you should forgive and forget, but nah. There's certain things you can forgive, and there's certain things you can't. Well, there's certain things you can forgive, and there's certain things you can't forgive. And this person went over the top, and he deserved what happens. And it ain't going to end there at court. I'll tell you that for one thing, yeah. So once I know what happens, I'm going to go to a solicitor and seek legal aid and see if I can actually get him to pay me some kind of compensation on the shit that he's caused me. Because he knew I was going through a lot of hate and bullying. You know, he downloaded all the videos that people done. He threatened to release every video that he had on his computer. Well, as I say, the police arrested him and they, took everything. They stripped his computer and downloaded all the content that he had on there. They even had the content that I had, which I had on him as well. Not just on my computer, but on mobile phone and other stuff. But as I say, the police, the authorities have dealt with it. It's just like, the hassle and waiting for it to go to court, It's supposed to have gone to court in March, April, I think. April, May, June, July. Yeah, April. So April, May, June, July, August. So, 5-6 months and it's still not gone through because the C-19 situation, the social distancing. Courts are only doing the ones which are, people have been arrested and thrown in prison at the moment. I know someone did say to me, like up north somewhere, they actually are working on the backlog of the ones which they think should have been put on hold. But I don't know if they're doing that down here. And the person would have got arrested if he didn't do the nasty shit that he done on me. And I feel that anyone who's doing nasty shit on people should follow the same suit. They should be arrested and taken to court and possibly end up in jail and do time. It teach them a lesson, then, won't it? Right. Well, that's all I've got to say about that. But if anyone wants to come in and have a chat, there's the StreamYard link. If any trolls come in here, they'll be kicked out straight away. If anyone wants to come on, you can come on. If you don't, then fair. I don't really mind. Probably end up going to bed early if no one comes on. No, there's a few people on here I've seen tonight have had, the same situation as I've bullied by certain people on here at the moment. So we had one troll on here saying I'm gay. Yeah, I can be gay. Gay is in happy sometimes. Oh, he's a gay fella. What's wrong with gays anyway? Nothing wrong with gays. So who's on here anyway? There's a few people I know that's had problems with people, and people just can't leave it alone. There's at least 4 or 5 people on here I've seen who's been bullied and targeted by other people. So I'll do a quick shout out anyway. Hello, Dave, Hyde, Claire, Hawkeye. Who else is on here? Nin, whoever Nin is. Shrimp Shack. Michael. Angela Sacramento. Hell, she's gone through a lot of shit herself. She's never left alone. Poor woman. Let me just click on that one. Hang on a minute. Someone left a comment there. Hang on. I've got to see if I can find it on here. Who was it? Yeah, I've learned about ignoring it, Claire, yeah? I won't retaliate. Because I'm not going to waste my time on hateful losers out there, yeah? Because if you retaliate, then it's got, you're giving them fuel to feed on, aren't you? And I'm not I'm not going to give them that field feed on me again. No, I've learnt my lesson. No, it's just like, I wanted to do this to show you how hard it can be going through a lot of stress and depression, which you don't need to be going through. When you lose a family member, it is, very upsetting. But when people take that and use that against you, that's not nice. And some nasty little shit did use my father as a tool against me, kind of thing. And then the guy put the video up. How disrespectful can he be? How disrespectful can he be dressing me and my nephews up as Nazis when we're taking my dad to a funeral, man? How disrespectful. I'd never do anything like that to him. I can't find that comment in a minute. Hawkeye. Trying to find Hawkeye's comment. Where's Hawkeye's comment? I want to get it up on screen, but I can't bloody find the damn thing. Hawkeye. There's a kind of a longer comment you left on there. I can see it on like normal YouTube, but I can't see it on here on StreamYard for some reason. Hawkeye Station Paranormal. Can't seem to bloody find it. It's weird, you can see it on YouTube, the comment, but in StreamYard, half the comments ain't showing up in StreamYard, which is weird. All right, Mark, how's it going? Thanks for popping on. Yeah, anyway, I'll read it out anyway, because I can't find it on StreamYard, but it's on YouTube. Hawkeye Paranormal said, I had hate videos made on me from a YouTuber, I think he's Jesus. He asked me to bow down to him. I told him to fuck off. So he started making loads of hate videos, very concerning, on YouTube. Yeah, well, all you have to do is what I done. I downloaded every video that the guy put on me. I knew who he was. I had his name, address. I found out he had 3 different phone numbers. I called the police. I told them. They came and watched the video. The one that he was trying to, well, the one he put premiere, which was the worst of the worst. I mean, that video was 100 times worse than any other person that put video up on me. And yeah, even the police was disgusted about that. And I said, yeah, that's a malicious communication. That is a arrestable offence. So after a few months, they did actually have enough evidence, including the evidence that I gave them. They went and arrested him, took all his computers, laptops, game consoles, anything that got onto the internet, even tablets. They took it all and they started going through it. And would you believe, they only had it 2 days, and he rang them up saying, well, we're not going to get my gear back. And the officer said, when we're good and ready. And I know they did give it back to him a few months later, because some of the stuff that they got, there wasn't nothing on there. But they did find a lot of information, all the nasty content that he done on me, all the videos that he said he had on his computer that he was going to upload. They had other stuff where he's been doing stuff to other people. But I don't think they was more concerned about that. They were more concerned about the stuff that he done on me and the threats he said he was going to be doing. So yeah, they arrested him. The thing was, right, when they first contacted him, they rang him just to, kind of warn him off, and he denied everything, denied everything. But 2 days later, he's uploading videos again. So I've contacted the police officer. Look, he's doing it again, I've got proof, evidence. So that's why they said, right, okay, we'll have to arrange a time and date and go and nick the guy. You know, if he can't take a warning, then, you know, he can't be doing what he's doing. So after a certain amount of time, they actually went and arrested him. And, you know, they had him down in the old interview room, and apparently he broke down. Oh, can you tell Stu, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I'm very sorry. Well, too fucking late, shouldn't have done it in the first place. And I hope they do fucking put you in prison, because you deserve it. Anyone who fucks anyone off should deserve going inside. It give them a bit of a kick up the arse then, won't it? No, as I said, I've had problems with people, but there's people I've made up with and we talked to. I won't give out names. There's a few people who I've had problems with and amended our situation with. But you can't be going, you know, and having all the shit, you know, kind of thing. Because that's what kind of destroys you in one way. When you're talking shit about people and making them look like they're the ones who's causing all it, and it's you who's causing it. Like, right, no, what right have you got to do nasty videos and lie about people and slander people and bully people? What right have you got to do that to anyone? Because you've had it done, it don't mean you can go around targeting other people as like a revenge, because that's what it is, and it's like a revenge. You know, you got to give, you know, kind of like forgive and forget. And if you can't forgive and forget, then you just like move away and ignore the shit that people are saying about you. Just don't retaliate. You know, keep doing it, then just download whatever you can download and, you know, pass on to authorities. So, well, like, this person's been doing it for 6 months now. Here's all the videos, here's the screenshots. And it's up to your authorities to turn and say, right, well, yeah, okay. There is enough there. We're doing them for malicious communications. You know, when you're being threatened, that's seen as a serious crime, you know. It does make you live on the other side of the fucking world and say, like, I'm going to get someone to come around and shoot you. You're threatening that person, aren't you? You know, but some of it can be, what's it called? They imitate you. You know, I think that's the word. It's like they say one thing, but they don't really mean it. It's just like, you know, hateful, jokeful kind of thing. Intimidation. That's the word I'm trying to think. No, oh, it's just intimidation. Don't worry about it. Well, we're going to worry about it, aren't we? You know, when someone's threatening you, yeah, well, we can't really do anything unless they come knock on your door and, you know, punch you in the face or something. Oh, so I've got to wait for them to come knock on my door and put a knife in my heart or shoot me in the face or gang rape me or something, you know. Because, you know, I even had, I don't really want to go into this one, but about 4 years ago, I had a guy threatened to come and gang rape me and smash my head against the wall. And he was actually arrested and cautioned. And, you know, he still kept doing it. So he was arrested the second time and cautioned the second time. But, you know, the third time he didn't do it because I heard that he was in the nick. So he couldn't do it to me on the third time anyway. But it was a few years later, I was on the same gaming community as the person who's already done this nasty content on me. He apologised to me. He goes, Steve, it's just one of those bad years for me. You know, I really do apologise. I shouldn't have done that, you know. You know, I've learnt by my mistakes, you know. If you can, you know, forgive me, that's great. I said, well, although what you've done was nasty and you took my life, you know, I'm going to be the person, the better person to forgive you. Because if I had taken my life, I'd have fucking come over and haunted you for the rest of your life, mate. And he laughed at it. I said, I ain't laughing. I would have fucking haunted you. Because I'm still alive and you've apologised, and yeah, you know, like, I'll give you the doubt. You know, I'll forgive you. But if you start up again and you get, like, cautioned this time, I'm going to see it through. And he said, thank you for that, you know, kind of thing. And the one who's doing like the shit not long ago, and because there's two different people in the gaming community who targeted me. One about 4 or 5 years ago, who apologised, and the second one, the more recent one, knew the shit I was going through with all the hate videos, all the drama, all the bullshit, all the nastiness, and for him to turn around and do what he done. No, I can't forgive him. Now, if I die tomorrow, which I doubt I will, but if I was to die tomorrow through, like, some kind of accident or, illness or whatever, and I had to go and wait in queue to be judged. We had this little conversation last night on Dave's channel, about being judged. Do you cross over or, do you forgive people? But I want to see, him being paid. I want to see him getting what he deserves. And if it means like, I can't cross over until I see that, I'd rather fucking stay in limbo and haunt the guy until, he gets what he just deserves. Then I'll apologise to the God and hopefully I can cross over. But I'm hoping he will get fucking like put inside. That way you can't bully other people. So I'm going to leave the link out one more time. If anyone wants to come in and have a chat, they can do. If you don't, then fair enough. I think what's name was on earlier. Was Nubs on earlier? I don't know if he's on or. Well, he's supposed to have been on earlier, but he says waiting for a venture with Nubs. So I don't know if Nubs was on or when he's coming on. If he comes on now, I might nip on and say hello, but I ain't going to make it, I ain't going to be fucking staying up till like 7 o'clock in the morning again. Good question. Purgatory. If I said that right. I can't really answer that, to be honest with you. I don't think I can answer that right now. I can't even remember what it means, actually. Let me see. No, we live in the shit world at the moment. Purgatory, a place, a state of suffering inhabited by the souls of sinners who are their sins before going to heaven. I don't know. If they got problems, they should fucking seek advice and help instead of like targeting other innocent people and taking it on innocent people. That's how I see it. When's your next infest, Mark? You going back to that place with the sheets hanging down? The one with that actually had that interesting fireplace. I can't even fucking talk properly now. No, it can be a sad life and a miserable life, but we've got to try to put a lot of things behind us and try to move on. But it can be difficult when you're being targeted left, right, and centre, or you have mental health issues that you can't really control sometimes, And when you have mental health, it is a serious problem, a very serious problem. And people shouldn't pick on people who have mental health issues. Make it worse for them. So it ain't right. No, some of these people out there that target people, you're the cause of making their life even more of a miserable life. You're the cause of making them mentally unstable. You're the cause of making them seriously ill. You're the cause that make them feel suicidal. And I just hope no one does take the life over some nasty arsehole that wants to disrupt your life all the time, you know. I had enough of it. That's why I said I'm not going to stop until this guy gets arrested. I will keep going down the police station if I have to and keep complaining, but lucky enough there was enough evidence for them to go and arrest him eventually. And I didn't want that to happen. I warned the guy, don't do it. Take that video down, don't even put it up, don't even put it, you know, like Premier like you threatened to do, because I don't want to be ringing the police up. And he thought I was fucking around, and I meant every word. And I say they warned him off on his phone, but he didn't take that warning. He thought it was a joke. So the second time they went down and arrested the guy. And I hope that, you know, when the law changes, they will make cyberbullying and trolling a lot more of a serious crime, an arrestable offence. And I hope that, you know, it doesn't matter if you've got a criminal offence or not, you know. This guy doesn't have a criminal background, but he does now. And you've got to realise, once you start and you don't stop, you get arrested and you go to court. That is then giving you a criminal background. So when you lose a job and you go to find another job and they say you've got a criminal background, it's going to turn your life upside down. You ain't going to get a job because they want to know why you was arrested. No, I don't have no cart boilies, Tony. What boilies I've got in the freezer. I used to make my own, as you know, but I'm keeping what I've got because I want to start doing some fishing again next year. I just didn't feel like doing any fishing this year. I just couldn't be bothered to go out and get a fishing licence. Clapham Common now charges £25-30 for a permit. One time it used to be free, but you know they now charge over Clapham Common. Certain parts of the Wandle you got to have a permit for as well. There are parts of the River Wandle you don't have to pay. You know, even Tootingbeck and Wandsworth you got to have permits. And I just couldn't afford the permits, mate. So this year I thought, fuck it, I ain't going to do no fishing. I'll do something different. And I did do something different. I was metal detecting and I built myself a bushcraft camp. A little cabin in the woods, which I've got my other channel, as you know. And I got blasted about that by negative people. But I'm not doing nothing wrong. They just don't like the person I am. They're just jealous of the person I am. And that's what it is all about, mostly cyberbullying, jealousy. They don't like who you are. No, they actually target the more vulnerable ones, the ones who have mental health issues. And I think that's just fucking disgusting. You go Walthamstow. I don't know how to get the Walthamstow, to be honest with you. I'm more of a local person. I don't like travelling around that much. Now, someone told me about a car boot fair, down near Epsom. I looked on the map how to get there, and it's like over an hour's travel. You know, I need to get either a train and 2 buses or 3 buses. And I just don't like travelling that much. You know, even where I go to my bushcraft camp, that's an hour travel. And, you know, sometimes I feel like, do I really want to travel an hour a day? So I ain't even been up there for like nearly 3 weeks now. And I should go up there because I left a trial cam up there. last time, and when I came back, I looked on there. And there's some people trespassing at my camp. That's trying to like peek in the doorway. Like 2 like kids one day, and then there's 2 adults a couple of days later. So when I go up there, I've got like, I took photos of my video, and I'm going to go up to the landowner and I say, do you know these people? And if he says, yeah, they're family, okay, fair enough. But if they ain't, then I'm going to have to say to him, well, you need those cameras which you keep saying that you want to get. Because he wants to get CCTV up on his farm. Because there's been fly tipping up there. So, I'm going to show him the pictures. And if it's family, friends, then fair enough. But if it ain't no one who he knows, then there's people trespassing on his end when they ain't supposed to be doing it. So he might have to put higher fencing up as well, which is going to cost him money. I was going to go up today, but because I'm been up, well, I did sleep, half the day today. And had some weird fucking dreams and a day nightmare, would you believe? A daytime nightmare. And being like nearly 3 o'clock now, I ain't gonna want to go up there. I think it's going to be raining today as well. The only thing I got up for was to go to the post office because I made a power sensor for John, Legacy Paranormal, and I sent that out to him today. Second cast recording. I sent a message saying, I sent it. He goes, okay. That's all he said was okay. So, that's been sent out. Well, yesterday, Thursday. The weather today is going to be rainy. So I'm not going to go today anyway because I'll probably be tired anyway. I could go Saturday or Sunday, but, Saturday I'm going to go to the car boot fair. Sunday they got, at the other place where I go to, the Sunday car boot fair, there ain't no car boot fair on Sunday there. They're going to have an antique kind of thing going on, like an antique fair. And I thought I'd go out there just to have a look around. I'm not going to be able to buy anything. I just want to go and have a look because I've never been to an antique fair. But where they have the Sunday boot fair, because they have an antique fair, they're going to have the car boot fair on Monday. So I might go to that as well. I don't know. I ain't got hardly any money left anyway. I just topped up my travel card. So, I can go out, on the bus for a few times. I could, let's see what it's going to be like Monday. No, hang on, Monday's going to be car boot, so I might go to car boot on Monday. Tuesday I might go up there. Tuesday going to be light cloud, gentle breeze. I ain't got to do nothing now. I've done most of what I need to do on my shelter. I was thinking of doing some metal detecting. Get back out doing some metal detecting again. Now the weather's calmed down. It's not as hot out there than we've been getting. Oh, sorry, Dave, I didn't see you there. Oh.
Hi, mate.
Right, sorry, you should have sent a message through Facebook.
It's all right, mate. No worries.
Oh. Well, now you know what it's like when I was waiting on yours for 5 minutes last night.
Yeah, it was just a pandemonium yesterday, though, man. It was difficult.
It was fucking good though yesterday.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see you in the chat at all. I'm sorry in the waiting. I had a different window open, so I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. So what's going on?
Not a great deal. Just been mooching about some of the other streams and that from the US, and that's about it, really. Not doing a great deal. How about yourself?
Oh, I just had one of those weird days today. I woke up, went to the post office, sent John's thing out, and another package out to someone else. I came home. I was so damn tired. I went back to sleep for a little while, and I just don't know. I felt like I wasn't myself today. I had a really weird fucking nightmare during the daytime. Woke up, got up about, what time was it? About 7:30, I think. And I went to the bathroom. I thought I can't go back to sleep in case I, jump back into that nightmare. So I watched a bit of YouTube and TV, and I was just going through one of those depression moment kind of things, And I thought, you know what, it's good to talk about it because it kind of releases the stress and the anxiety when you talk about it sometimes. And sometimes people have the same problem. And, I've actually had one of these before where I spoke about, the stress and depression and how to deal with it, And I had a couple of people saying that I go through the same shit and they enjoyed the conversation that I was doing on the stream and they, appreciated it. So, it's like another one of those kind of streams, today.
Okay.
No, I just can't see why people keep getting picked on and bullied all the fucking time, I don't want to get into the drama shit anymore, but I just see that this world's going down a shithole right now with all this, thing what's going on. People shouldn't be doing what they be doing on social media. Because the thing what's going on at the moment, people losing their jobs and that's causing them stress and depression and heartache and people losing loved ones through the C-19. There's better things to be doing than fucking going on YouTube and causing shit towards people.
Yeah, that's half putting I can hear myself. Sorry, it's a bit better now. I don't do the drama, Steve. I'm not, I'm not bothered about what people say one another. I take people how I find them. If they don't do me any harm, I've got nothing against them. I just don't do it. I'm not interested in causing trouble, spreading rumours. I just want no part of it.
I don't. But I was just more talking about, why people get stressed out. Why people suffer with stress and anxiety. It's not, it can be anything, losing someone. Like I lost my dad, I still think about my dad day, every kind of thing, I'm thinking, well, what's he doing up there? Does he come and visit me still, Sometimes I feel that, he is around, but he's not around as much because he, I believe that he visits his grandson, his great-grandson that he never got to see because he died before, my daughter had a son anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's around him more than anything else. Plus he's probably like, visiting his sisters and, his wife and other things. So, I do feel that he's not around as much as he used to be, but I still think about him quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would like anyone, you miss, your family. Some people, this another thing what I don't kind of understand, right? Yeah, your parents give birth to you, and they bring you up all your life, and when they die, they bury you. They take, they pay the cost to get you buried. They may come to your funeral. They may visit your grave 2 or 3 times, and that's it. You don't really, there's been many people, well, not so many people, but I've been to many cemeteries where, people have died, and been laid to rest for about 3 or 4 years, and their graves haven't been looked after. And I'm thinking because it could be different reasons. One, because the family's moved on to another location, or 2, they just didn't give a shit about going and visiting their loved ones and keeping their graves, nice and tidy. I think sometimes they think it's down to the actual cemetery to keep it in a decent upkeep when it's not. It's down to the person whose family members who's buried there. It's down to them to keep it up, as a kind of a tidy location. Because if you're doing it yourself, then you're showing, that you still care for them and love them, and and it's always nice to go and visit their headstone. So my dad wasn't buried; he was cremated. So and I've got some of his ashes still in the living room. And when I go in, I just look at his ashes and say, "Miss your dad," But with people some people, they just lose their family members or friends or whatever, and that's it, you know. I know, you know, you got to move on and try to put, you know, that kind of behind you, but it's nice to see, you know, people going and taking care of, you know, that person's headstone. And not many people do it nowadays. I think that's a shame.
I think people deal with death and remembrance in different ways, don't they? And the coping mechanisms for people are completely different. But I know what you mean. You do see it, you know, if you go to cemeteries. I mean, and not that people hang around at cemeteries or anything, but if you go to cemeteries, they can look a little bit, you know, overgrown, and the flowers that have been left there can be, you know, long since wilted. But like I say, it's a busy lifestyle a lot of people lead these days, and I don't know. I mean, I can't answer for people myself. It's a lot of people might only visit the graves of loved one on anniversaries, or like the anniversary of their death, or the birthdays, or Christmas. So maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah,
it's a tough one, isn't it? You know. To be fair, Steve, a lot of people don't visit the loved ones when they're still alive. So
yeah, true.
You know.
So you know, I don't visit my mum that much because you know, it's quite a way to go, and I don't have the money to go down there some of the times anyway. But me niece Laura, she always have like a gathering, you know, like a Christmas gathering on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
And I always go there, whatever. And if I have to fucking walk there, I'll go there. So, you know, I do get to see my mum, my sisters, but, you know, some of my sisters ain't getting on with each other. Like my sister Wendy didn't turn up last year. Because there's problems going on with the family, which I won't discuss, but she didn't turn up because we knew that there's going to be a full-blown argument there, so she kept away. But, you know, I got to see my mum, my niece, you know, my cousin, well, not my cousin, well, yeah, cousins, my nephews. So it's always good, you know, to get in to see your family, even if it's just once a year, you know, kind of thing. But, you know, I sometimes even like, you know, if my sister says, "Oh, mum ain't well," then I'll ring my mum up and say, "You know, what's wrong? You know, how are you? You know, do you want me to try to come down?" And she'll say, "No, don't worry about it. You know, I just don't feel too good today." She's got a lot of problems with her legs, being like, you know, old age. She's 76 years old.
Yeah.
She's having problems with some of the neighbours. The housing association where she's in don't do a lot of the work what's supposed to be done. You know, my mum just keeps saying, "I wish I was out. I wish I had a little bungalow for myself, you know, so I can, like, you know, live there peacefully until the end of my days." I'm thinking, "Don't say that, Mum." She goes, "Well, no, here it's just like she's upset there, you know. She don't like being there." So if you ever need me to come down, you know, I'll try to come down. She goes, "No, don't worry about it." I mean, Mum's a loving person. Like, she just recently paid for a new washing machine for me. Because my last washing machine just kept packing up all the time, and I didn't have no insurance on it. No, I had insurance on my cooker. I've got insurance on my microwave, and I've got insurance on my fridge freezer. But I didn't have insurance on my washing machine, so I couldn't get it fixed. So I'm saying, like, you know, "Oh, I can't do no washing. I've got to go to the laundry. That's cost me more money than I expect, you know, because I just doing one load in the laundrette over here is like £5, and when you put it in your tumble dryer to dry it, that's another £3-4 So I was just saying to my sister, I said, "I can't afford these. You know, sometimes I have to leave my clothes in the bathroom, you know, dirty for a week or two. You know, sometimes I have to wear my clothes 2-3 times, you know, for 2 or 3 days." So I said, "Look, I can't afford it, you know." So she spoke to my mum, and my mum goes, "Look, you don't really ask for much. Let me get you a new washing machine." I said, "No, I'll try to save up." She goes, "No, you know, you're my son. You don't ask for nothing. You know, let me get your washing machine." So I said, "Well, only if you can afford it." She goes, "Look, I've got the money. You know, just give me your bank account and order it." So she gave me the money, but I couldn't order it because at the time, the delivery people weren't allowed to deliver it because of the C19 situation and the social distancing. Because I got mine from Argos, and it's only until, like, you know, I've had my washing machine about 2 weeks now, and it took like another 2 months after my mum gave me money to wait until Argos decided they was going to, like, allow people to come and deliver and take the old washing machine away to be recycled. So now I've got a new washing machine I'm happy with. And the first thing I'd done with that was done with washing. The second thing I'd done was rang up Direct General, or whatever it's bloody called, and insured the washing machine this time. So, no, things are getting a bit better.
Good.
But you get the days where you just feel like, you know, down and stressed out and depressed again, you know. I don't know if it's like, you know, where you're, you know, overtired, or, you know, I'll just get bored, you know, like that's why I started doing, you know, my electronics again, you know, because I know that I'm not going to be able to get out to my bushcraft every day of the week because it's going to cost me too much money. So, like, it was Steve Cooper who said, well, why don't you get back doing electronics? I said, well, yeah, you know, I've got some stuff that I need to repair anyway. So that's why I started getting back to it. But, you know, there's days that I don't even feel like doing that. I just feel like moping around. And some people say, well, it's more like feeling sorry for yourself. Well, yeah, I do feel sorry for myself. Why? I don't know. I just sometimes can't handle, you know, life sometimes. So depressing.
It's not quite as simple as that, Steve. People saying things like it's you're just feeling sorry for yourself, or, you know, you need to cheer up and all this. Like, it's stating the obvious. People with depression know that they're feeling down. They know that they need to cheer up, but obviously they can't. You know, so it's not quite as clear cut as that. And it's not about feeling sorry for yourself, because you don't really feel sorry for yourself. It can be all sorts of different feelings that come in and make people who suffer from depression feel the way that they do, and it's not necessarily self-pity. And those type of terms are people who say things like that, for the most part, are people who haven't suffered from depression. Not everybody, because, you know, some people will say that and they have had mental health problems. But the stigma that used to surround mental health isn't as bad as it used to be, thankfully. But it is sort of, there is bits of it still there, where some people don't quite understand the condition.
Yeah.
But it's a difficult one, because it is about staying occupied, about staying active, and trying to focus. And each little thing that you can do throughout the day that you see as an achievement should be taken as an achievement, and you should sort of pat yourself on your back for being able to do that. And do things, just even little things, one step at a time, and just keep plodding on and keep doing it, and not try to set big goals, and then when you can't reach them goals because you're not able to get out as often as you'd like to, or as frequently as you'd like to, or do the things that you'd like to, that you don't feel like you've failed because you haven't hit these big targets that you might have a preconceived notion about wanting to set or to achieve. So it's just doing the little things that keep you plodding on, keep you moving forward, and keep you occupied, you know. And try and stay out of toxic environments where people don't understand the condition would be my advice. And, you know, to be quite frank, with what can go on in all sorts of social media, not just YouTube, there's lots of places. The best thing's to turn them off, turn the computer off, and just don't go there, and let your head, you know, sort out, heal, get yourself, like, recharge your batteries and that. And I know it's difficult, because it can be, it's nice for it to be there, and for it to occupy your time. And if you don't get out much, and the only source of outlet, or the only type of way of speaking to people is via the internet, then it can be almost like shutting yourself off and feeling even more isolated. But you've got to balance that against how it makes you feel being on the internet. And, you know, if you've got a YouTube channel, then by default you're sort of putting yourself in the public eye a little bit, and you're open to scrutiny from other people. So it can become a double-edged sword, if you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah. So, you know, even with the drama, the police said, well, why don't you just close your account then, you know, and, like, you know, come off social media? That way, you know, you ain't going to get all this hate and drama and bullying. I said, yeah, but, you know, social media is everyone's part of life at the moment, you know, because you you talk to people, you make friends with people, you know, you talk to your family on social media, and you have hobbies, you know, you do live streams, and when you're doing live streams, if people like you, then they come to, you know, they're going to come and watch you and subscribe to you and be part of your community. But you've got the haters out there, you know, and that's what disrupts everything. She goes, well, that's the way fucking things work, you know. That's the way the world goes round. You know, you've got your negative and your positive.
Mm-hmm.
If you disrupt the negative, you know, the world's going to stop, because you can't have positive all the time. You know, you need an even number of, like, you know, negative and positive. I'm thinking, well, yeah, I know that, you know, but, you know, why are so many people so nasty, you know? And she said, well, maybe they got brought up in a nasty way, you know, in a nasty environment, and they just, like, some people, she said that they're crying out for help, but they're not crying out for help in a way that they need to do. They're actually passing on their stress, their anger to other people, and they don't realise it's actually disrupting that other person's life, you know, and making their life a misery. So the way she explained it, saying it like common sense, but I still got kind of like a little bit lost in the way they was actually saying to me how people react nowadays. But that's why, you know, I thought, like, I don't want to be on the internet all the time. I don't want to be sitting indoors all the time. What else can I do, you know? And that's why I started doing the bushcrafting, you know. And I've been doing that 6 months on and off. And then still, you know, because it's a new, like, hobby or venture, you know, you want to share that information with other people. Like, you know, other people share their information. And that's how I learned, by watching other people's channels, you know, on bushcrafting, you know, kind of thing. I thought, well, that's interesting. You know, if I can do that myself, then I can document that myself and pass it on to other people who might be interested, you know, kind of thing. And that's what I was doing. But the haters find your new channel and they start causing problems on your new channel as well. And you're thinking, well, is it even worth putting a new fucking channel up, you know? So now, I've put, as I said last night, I've started another new channel for car booting. Don't mean I'm going to be doing videos every single time I go to a car boot, but you know, I don't want a channel where I've got everything on one channel, you know. So that's why I spread my stuff around on different channels. But I say, like, you know, there are days where I can't go out because of the weather, or I ain't got the money to go out. And, you know, sitting there and you're thinking, well, what can I do today? Well, I did start sorting the place out, you know. I sorted the kitchen out. I started sorting the living room out as well. Chucked out a load of stuff. I chucked out 6 PCs the other day, 4 boxes of crap. And when I went to the car boot fair Wednesday, I overheard a guy saying that he was looking for some computer stuff because he wanted to build a little XP system. And I said, mate, if you want some computer stuff, I've just dumped a load of stuff outside my flat near the bins. If you want it, go and get it. Now, I think he did turn up and had a look at it, but I don't think he took anything because, you know, the way I put it was completely moved around, you know, kind of thing. Like the monitor was put near the back wall. 3 of the desktop PCs were right next to each other instead of them like kind of built up like I originally done. So I think he came around and had a look at them, but didn't take any. So I thought, well, at least I offered, you know. He didn't have pain, I think, for them. But you know, I've been trying to keep myself busy, but you get them days where you just think, oh, I can't be bothered doing that today. So you lazy around. When you're lazy around, you start getting a bit stressed out and depressed because you ain't doing nothing. You know, I'm not saying there ain't nothing to do. There's loads of things I can do in here, but you just get them days where you can't be asked to do anything, you know. And that's the way I feel sometimes, you know. And you know, you come on social media and watch a few videos, and next minute you see someone who you know who's doing videos on drama, and you're thinking, why are they doing fucking videos on drama? You know, why don't they just not do it? You know, why don't they just like ignore it? You know, kind of thing. And you know, you don't want to see your friends getting involved and doing retaliation videos, you know, and you don't really want to be talking to them in case, like, you know, the person has been targeted gets around to the ones who's been causing the problem, and you're being drawn into it again. So, you know, I didn't even watch the video. I watched it for a few minutes and I saw what's going on. I thought, now, fuck this. But, you know, it wasn't because of that I done the stream. I just wanted people to know that, you know, stress, anxiety, and depression is a serious, illness, and, you know, you're not going to get over it within like a few days. It's a constant thing that goes on with people's life. People suffer with it throughout the whole of their lifetime, you know. There ain't no cure for it. And, like, you know, why should people keep targeting you and bullying you and, you know, lying about you when they know you got all this, you know, illnesses? It's not just like, you know, stress and depression and anxiety. It's when you got other kind of like mental health issues as well, like certain disabilities. I see people being targeted because, like, they got different disabilities. And I just think it's a sad fucking life where people keep having to keep attacking, you know, people who they don't know or they do know, and they just don't like them. So, you know, it's kind of a video on that, but it's also like on how to deal with it as well. You know, you don't have to be on social media and, you know, like watch and be attacked all the time. You like you say, you can turn it off and just ignore the fuckers. Well, what I do, I you know, all I'm still on social media. If anyone attacks me, I just ignore them. I don't even retaliate. I don't even talk about them anymore. But no, I do like being on social media because there's a lot of people like you, Uric, Rose, and God knows how many people I talk to on social media. And if I'm not talking to someone, then that puts me down as well. It's not so much putting me down, but I get bored, you know. And I think, well, you know, well, what can I do if I get bored, you know, and I don't want to be doing something in the flat, like sorting out. I've got to be doing something myself. I can't just be lazing around and like moping. I'd rather be doing something if it means like talking to someone. And that's what I do, you know. I come on because, you know, I used to be a police officer, you know. YouTube is part of my life now, you know. I like being on there, but she goes, yeah, it's all right being on there, but, you know, you got to realise that, you know, the haters out there can affect your life. And I said, yeah, I know. But it's not so much like the haters out there, you know, causing problems and bullying people. You know, when you suffer with depression, anxiety, it's a lifelong going thing, and, like, you know, anything can kick it off.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It, like I say, it's a tough one for me because I just don't do the drama. I'm not interested in what people have got to say about one another, and it's nothing to do with me. And
yeah, I know, but it's not always the drama. You know, it's anything that might have affected your life. You know.
Thing is if you make a video addressing the drama, then you're causing drama.
Yeah, but I'm not actually talking about drama. I know I'm saying, like, you know, drama can be a part of the stress and depression, but I wasn't actually causing drama by pulling out names and YouTube channels.
No, but it still propagates it because it's still mentioning it. I mean, you know, if you if the paranormal community, for want of a better word, is a paranormal community, it should deal on the paranormal, and that's all, because that's all I'm interested in, and a little bit of fun and enjoying myself when I do streams, because it's I don't care about what people have got to say about to one another. I take people how I find them.
And that's what people should do. Especially
yeah, I know people should do that, but that's up to them. People act how they wish. It's no bearing on me, and they do what they want. I can just turn off the computer and go and do other things and never come back to it, and it won't bother me, because it's not my life. This, you know, it's a bit of fun, and when it stops being fun, I'll stop doing it. But that's the thing. If you turn around and say that it's your life, and then you wonder why it's affecting your life, then you've answered your own question.
Yeah, true.
You know, unfortunately, I mean, I suppose maybe if you send you know, get a group of people who you trust, and maybe you know, because you want to talk to people, and if you don't want other people to be able to see it, you know yourself, you can send them invites to streams where you don't broadcast, so you can still talk to people if you wanted. You can use Skype.
Yeah,
it's about being in the public eye. If you're doing a videos that's getting streamed that people can see, then people can see and judge it, and they will.
oh yeah, I know that. But as I say, like, I've learned, you know, from other people and for myself, like, if anyone's going to attack me, then let me fucking attack me. I don't give a fuck anymore. You know, I'm not going to be responding to their nasty comments or snidey videos. I'll, you know, bollocks to them. It's like more like, you know, talking about the stress and the problems that can be caused by, you know, the haters and not so much the haters, but when you lose people in your life, and, you know, when you lose, you know, your closest friends and stuff like that. Because I, you know, I have lost a good few amount of friends on social media because of the lies and deceit from other people, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, I'm just saying, I wish this shit would stop, because then, you know, social media is a big place. You know, everyone can get on with everyone. But even if you make, like, last night when I was on your channel, which I appreciate being on, you know, there's people on there we had to laugh with. People I don't even know. And, like, you know, I enjoy being on there. And that's given me the opportunity to actually go to their channel, watch it. And if they want me on this, you know, live stream, then I'm willing to be on it. Same here. If I'm on here and they come on here and they want to join the, you know, the live stream, then they're more than welcome to. So, you know, making friends is a good thing on social media. But it's not just making friends, you're going to make enemies as well. So it's like 50-50, isn't it? Really, isn't it? I'd rather make friends than enemies.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
But if you decide to say, well, you know, you make a lot of good friends on social media, and then you start getting targeted and you turn around and say, well, fuck social media, you know, you're going to lose all those friends that you've made, ain't you, really? Unless you actually know them for a while, and then you know, you got your phone numbers, and you can ring them. But, you know, I can't ring because I like the cost. You know, if you ring America nowadays, that's costing you a fucking arm and a leg just to say hello, you know, kind of thing. So, you know, you whatever way, you still need social media to contact your friends and family, don't you?
Yeah, you need social media, but YouTube is almost a form of public media. There's the difference.
Yeah. So I used to use Skype, but for some reason Skype don't work on my computer.
People who are not your friends can still see what you say. People who are not subscribed to you can see what you say. They can come across you and they can find you. So YouTube is more public media than social media, as it were, and it's certainly not private media. And you know that's the thing. I mean, if I say something on when I'm doing a stream or on one of my videos, I expect, like, if I say something that's wrong, that somebody will you know, will hear it and maybe have an opinion about it. And it's obvious because I've put it out there. I've put it into the public domain. So you have to live with those consequences. And it's not about, I totally understand what you're saying, but you couldn't have chose a more public way of doing it other than standing on the town hall steps and shouting about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know sometimes I don't think what I do sometimes, but when you're not thinking of what you're doing, that's because, you know, you're going through the stress and, you know, the anxiety, depression. You know, your brain don't function properly, and, like, you know, you just don't know what you're doing sometimes. Oh, so, John and Link, if he wants to come on. So even John's been fucking targeted lately, isn't he? Poor sod.
Like I said, that's, you know, that's nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Sometimes people, you know, see what things are going on, and, you know, like about 2 years ago, I did one of these videos, and people said, "Look, you know, thank you for doing that video on, like, you know, how you deal with stress and anxiety and stuff like that." You know, because they've gone through the same thing, and they still do go through the same thing, and they didn't know how to deal with it. And the video that time was telling them how I dealt with it. Like this one today is like how I'm dealing with it, with the stress and anxiety, going out and doing things, putting a new channel up. If people want to follow me around, then good. If they want to keep targeting me, then, fuck them. I'll just ignore them. But, it was about the way, how I'm feeling. And what I'm trying to put the video through is how I'm feeling and how I'm actually having to handle it and how it actually started off. Whether being targeted on here or losing the family. And another way is that I'm trying to let people know how they can deal with it. You ain't got to turn around and say, well, I want to go and jump under a bus tomorrow, because there are people you can talk to. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family. You can ring 111 up and talk to them. They can give you contact numbers and stuff like that. That's what the content's supposed to be about. It's not so much all the bullshit drama. It's the way that the way I'm feeling. Other people feel the same way as I do, and sometimes you don't really want to be ringing up 111 because you feel like you're wasting their time and their resources, kind of thing. But you're not, because that's what they're there for, innit? Really, to help you. So, I didn't want to ring 111 up because I felt stressed and depressed today. I thought if I talk about it and other people have the same situation, then it'll all of us, kind of thing. And there are people out there who have the same kind of situation who has never spoken about it. And I sent the link out if you want to join, John. I think I sent the link out, didn't I?
I've not really been. Oh yeah, I can just see John now in the chat. Just caught up with the comments.
Oh, he's in bed.
Okay.
Well, I sent out your power sensor yesterday, Wednesday, so hopefully it might be there Saturday because it's second class recorded. But at least I've got to do it. I just have to wait for the bloody boxing. The first set of boxes I've ordered were the wrong bloody type. But I've kept them. I didn't send them back because I probably might be able to use them for something else. Like last night, I showed that little package to you, didn't I, with those IC chips. I've got an idea of doing another kind of EMF device. But now I've got to get the boards for them. It's not like a printed board. It's just like normal PCB board with holes in, which I can use. I had a couple, but when I was trying to make them, they just kept screwing up, kind of thing. And I realised I wasn't using the right IC chip either, so I had to order the IC chips. And I thought, on eBay, you only get 10 for about £5 in the UK. So I thought, well, let's do a search on eBay, and I found I could get 100 of the same chip from China for £3.50. So I thought, I'll order them. So I had to wait for those to turn up. And now I've got those, I've realised the board I've got ain't the right board. So I've got to order some PCB boards. And then I can start trying to make them. Now, I'm only going to make a few, to give away to a few friends. That's like I'll give you once I decide to. There's days that I want to start, trying to come up with some idea and building stuff, but then there's days when I want to do it and say, oh, fuck it, I can't be bothered. So, I'll get those weird days,
Yeah. Yeah, we all do, don't we?
So, was you going to stream tonight? Or
no.
Nubs or whatever.
When I stopped streaming earlier today, I actually felt okay, and it's after I stopped, I thought I should have kept going for a bit and done like a full 24 hours.
I told you to do it fucking 24, didn't I?
I could easily do a 20. I could easily do a 20. I could easily do a 24 or longer, beyond a shadow of a doubt, easy. And that's not being cocky. It's a statement of fact. I could do a 24 piece of piss. because I know enough people had come in and keep it ticking over with me, from like across the world. Actually, sent a few like elbows and a few ribs about the next one, but it was a bit, it felt like a grueler at first, but when you got past the first 12 hours, when you've done the first 12 hours, it's sort of, it don't matter. Then you're just chatting to your mates, aren't you, about stuff? So it's all good.
Yeah, it was good last night. Say, you two were fucking taking the piss out of me. But, I enjoyed it. Like giggle. And when I did eventually say I'm going to go to bed, I actually went to bed. I was so fucking shattered. And I thought, I wonder if Dave feels the same, knackered.
No, I was fine.
Did he go to bed? I'm thinking, well, he's probably checking out the other guys' channels and see if any of them are probably streaming, or he's probably watching something else, or he's probably doing something else, kind of thing.
I kept going for a bit longer, actually. Like I said, I'd done 18 hours. So, and on the mic, not going to sleep for a bit like some people do, pretending to be on air for a long time. Done the full 18 hours, and then I come off and I went on some of the streams in the USA. So I ended up being around for about 30 hours anyway. So I should have just done it. Should have done my own stream.
I could have done that, mate. If you're going to do a fucking 24 hours again, and I'm on there, I will probably come on for a few hours, depending on what time I decide to go to bed. And when I go to bed and wake up, if you're still on, then I might come back on. But, I don't want anyone to do more than 18 hours. Even with when YouTube did Hangouts, you could only do 8 hours. I know with StreamYard, you can do, constant amount of time hours. I think Rose actually done a live stream on her channel, although she wasn't there, talking. She done a 36-hour one, I think, with a live stream, but it didn't record properly, so she lost that video. But with StreamYard, you can constantly stream all the time, can't you? Once you paid for the account.
Yeah, as long as there's activity on the stream, if things go silent, when like we're talking now on this, and there's the little pulses that come around our avatar showing that there's input going into StreamYard and into YouTube, then it'll continue to stream. But if there's no activity, I think after a certain amount of time it drops out. It automatically drops. But excuse me. It's one of them, innit? A few people did what you said. Your intention will be a couple of people came in, spent a few hours there. Later on, they came back in after they'd been to sleep. They'd been to bed for like 8 hours and come back in and chatted for a few hours and stuff like that. So, my mate Brandon, he's doing a 24-hour one on Saturday until Sunday, and I might do a 36 just to beat his 24. I've not decided yet. I might do a 36.
Fucking pop pills, to keep yourself awake or something. Fuck that.
Yeah, might do a 36 just to.
36 hours, mate. I want to be on 24. If you sent me an invite, I'll probably be on there. Depending on what time you started, yeah. Say like you started at 9 o'clock at night, and I came on there. You sent me an invite around about 11, 12 o'clock. Yeah, I'll probably stay on there for about 4 or 5 hours. And then I would say, right, I'm going to go to bed, and I probably would end up going to bed. And then when I wake up, if you're still streaming like you said you would, I'd pop on. And if you sent me an invite, I'd come on during the daytime, and then probably go to bed. Or say if you're still running around about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and you said, well, here's the link, Steve, come on back in. I'd come in for a few hours, then I'd come off for a few hours, and then I'd pop back on again later. So, because I think it gets a little bit more interesting during the night time, don't it, than rather than the daytime, because there's people, who do go out and work. They got chores to do, they got kids to look after. So during the daytime, it'll probably be quiet, won't it? Depending on, who they are and where they are. Because, you've got different time zones. Like here in the UK, it's like 3:30. In America, it's probably about 6 o'clock or whatever, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So, you know, you're going to have different people, different parts of the world who are probably coming and chat to you. But I won't be able to be on fucking 24 hours non-stop, man. You know, I've done like, what is it? An 8-hour solid one, you know, talking. And that was long enough for me on YouTube. If I was to try and do one, I wouldn't try to do it so like I'm trying to like beat your record or Brandon's record. You know, it'd be a stream where I leave the cameras running on, you know, the DVR, you know, like overnight kind of thing. That's the only thing I'm doing.
That's not the same though.
No,
that's not the same. You've got to be on the mic as a host kind of thing for it to count in my. It don't matter anyway. It's all rubbish in it, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I could do a 24-hour. I'll be too fucking tired.
Yeah, I mean, you're not on your own with the amount of people that have said that since I finished doing it this morning. That, like, you know, you 18 hours. What were you thinking? It's like, well, I weren't thinking a great deal. Obviously, if I sat behind a microphone waffling rubbish for 18 hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have to realise though that, you know, when you're having a good time flies by, don't it? You don't realise, you know. Like, unless you're watching the clock every 5 minutes thinking, well, I've been on 10 minutes, now it's 20 minutes, now it's half an hour, now it's an hour. If you're not looking at the clock and you're just having a good time talking and inviting people on your channel, that time does fly by. It's like when you're outside waiting for a bus. You know, you're looking at the time thinking, well, when's the bus going to turn up, you know? And as soon as you stop looking at that clock or your watch or your mobile phone, you know, let's say like the bus is due in 10 minutes time and, you know, you get to the bus stop and you think, well, 10 minutes, you know, everyone keeps looking at the watch or their mobile phone, you know, doing a countdown. But if you don't do that countdown, then that 10 minutes goes quicker when you're not actually watching and checking your watch or your mobile phone. So another thing that I found that if, I don't know, it's the way, you know, the earth rotates, right? But I found that if you're going to a location and you're walking, for instance, like, say, when I went to the post office today, yeah, I thought, well, shall I jump on a bus? You know, it's only 3 stops, or shall I walk? I looked at the bus timetable and it said like 6 minutes. I thought, no, I can walk that in 6 minutes. So I walked it, yeah, to the post office, and I actually beat the bus. Now, I went to the post office, paid for that, went into the chip shop, got me dinner. Now, on the way back, you know, I was still walking the way I normally walk, but it seemed like coming back took less time than it did actually when going up there.
Yeah, so, hiya, John. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking in the chat. I just haven't had a chance to be able to get in and say hello. Hiya, John. All right.
So, like, you know, when you're not really looking at the time, you know, it seems to go quicker.
Yeah, it can. I think that depends upon circumstance. It can.
But I don't understand, like, any like time, you know, when you're walking to a location, it seems like, you know, you're walking forever, but on the way back, it seems to be quicker. I don't understand that.
I mean, when you're walking on the way, you're going to a destination, aren't you? So you're at the beginning of your journey, regardless of distance. It's not a distance; it's a perspective thing. When you're on your way home, you've already walked there. You've already done what you've needed to do while you're there. So you've got less time to finish your entire everything, which is just going home again, isn't it? It's I don't know. I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, yesterday, the first 4 hours of it, or the first, I don't know, 3.5 hours of it at least, were just a spirit box session where there were 4 of us using different things. Well, a couple were using Parallels and Paratech and that, and I know people's opinions about, you know, phone apps, but it was a live stream conducting an experiment, not anything claiming to be absolute proof. And I'm using various spirit boxes, you know. So for about 3.5, 4 hours, it was just a spirit box session. So there's a big chunk taken up before you even think about doing anything else. And then when them people have finished, other people are coming in and having different discussions. I mean, and they started to talk about cryptozoology and then moved on to spirituality and things like that. So it went pretty quick. I mean, I've seen another one of my friends who done a 15-hour live stream. Who isn't a paranormal investigator. I mean, he's going into the paranormal investigation side of it now. But he started off being an urban explorer. So they ran out of material to talk about fairly early on, you know. So it was a bit of a struggle to keep going, and they managed to get 15 hours out of it. So if you've got the right people there giving input and everything, you know, you can do it, can't you? You can have fun. It can be good fun. But I reckon, in fact, I'm fairly absolutely certain I could do a 36 if I wanted.
I don't know, I could do a 24 or 36. You know, John said it's okay. When on Fest takes further to walk there, on the way back it's quicker. I think sometimes, I know my location. I know how to get to the post office and back here. I've done it because you're thinking you know that the post. I didn't go to the post office till just after 5 o'clock here, and I knew that I had to be there within half an hour, or the post office would be shut, and I had to come back home with packages that I'd send out. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So even though I walked there a bit quicker, after going in there and coming back and getting my chicken and chips on the way home, you know, the chicken and chips just across the road from the bloody post office. And I looked at the bus timetable and it said 8 minutes for the next bus. I thought, fuck that, I'm going to walk it. Now, even though I walked faster to the post office, I kind of walked home a bit slower, but it still took less time to me walk slower to get home than it did when I walked faster to the post office. That's what I don't understand.
Well, I've already told you, it's perspective, isn't it?
Mm.
It's a perspective thing. When you step out of the door to go on your journey, you're at the very beginning of it, aren't you? It's not a distance thing. It's a perspective thing.
So
it does seem that it doesn't take as long coming home because you haven't got to walk there and do everything again. You've already done all that side of it.
Yeah. But I always
all you've got,
the gravity, you know, gravity pull the planet.
Sorry, gravity what?
I thought it was all down to gravity. You know, like if you're walking up a hill, for instance, it takes a lot of energy, doesn't it? But when you're walking downhill, it doesn't take no energy. It's like, you know, walking up a straight road. You know, you can walk up that road and feel okay, but when you're walking back down the road, you're bloody tired. I feel like sometimes, you know, the gravity of the earth is taking, you know, the oxygen out of you. That's why it makes you more tired, because you're using more oxygen. And
by default it is, isn't it? Because your heart has to pump harder to provide oxygenated blood to your muscles to when you exert yourself. So yes.
Yeah.
But that's the same for everybody, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
Who likes walking uphill?
Really? Mules, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Even when I'm on my push bike, you know, sometimes I go out for a ride and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've got to walk that fucking hill or pedal up that hill. And I know it's going to tire me out. So what I do, I jump off the bike and walk the bike up the hill. But on the way back, you know, coming back down the hill, it's okay because you ain't got to pedal so much. But you've got to use more energy by, you know, using the brakes. Otherwise, you don't use the brakes, you're going to go crashing into a car or a fucking brick wall or some pedestrian or something, you know. But when I see a hill, I feel like, no, I ain't going to make that. You know, it's going to take too much energy out of me. I'm going to have to walk it. But when you're walking it, you're still using either the same amount or even more energy because you're pushing the bike up the bloody hill. You might as well just keep on the bike and pedal at a slower rate, you know, kind of thing. But me, I don't think about that. I'm off the bike, pushing up the hill, get to the top of the hill, I'm completely knackered, sit down for 5 minutes, then get carrying on with my journey. And when I'm on the way back, when I get back to the hill, I'm thinking, oh, well, I ain't got to go up the hill. I can go down the hill and I ain't got to use as much energy, but you're still using energy by using the brakes. I don't know.
I'd just get in the car.
Yeah, it's all right for you to get in the car when you can afford a car. And, you know, even if I had the money, I don't think I'd even have a car. Because you've got to pay tax, MOT, insurance, cost of running the car, petrol, the car itself. You know, I've had a car when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a Datsun Sunny at one time. I was learning how to drive in that. My dad took me out a few times. I only went out on my own one a couple of times for me provisional. Lucky I never got caught by the old bill. But my dad took me for a drive one day. Well, I took him for a drive with my mate David down at Wimbledon. And we was going down one of these lanes with houses on the right. And for some reason, the steering wheel went a bit funny. I went across the road onto the fucking path, onto the grassland, and then crashed into a brick wall. My dad was able to pull the steering wheel off me and stop me crashing. And that scared the shit out of me. I said, no, let's turn around and go. And he goes, no, you ain't going to learn. You know, if you don't learn by your mistakes, he said, carry on driving. So I carried on driving, went down this long country lane, and the steering started playing up a little bit again. And I started steering to the left. And lucky my dad pulled the handle, you know, the steering wheel, and threw it over to me right. If he hadn't done, we would have went down a very steep cliff, which was probably about 100 foot deep. We all would have died. So, you know, after that, I was a bit scared.
But you didn't, though, did you, Steve? You didn't?
No, I didn't, but it was scary, you know, nearly crashing twice in one night. Put the fear in me, and I didn't drive for a little while. And then when I started using the car going down the A2 motorway, you know, that scared me a little bit because there's too much traffic on there. And I thought, you know, if that steering went, I would probably cause a serious accident. But, you know, we got the car sorted out. I used it. I tried to take my test. The guy was a bit of a weirdo. He always liked touching your leg, you know, a bit of one of those kind of guys. No,
okay,
yeah. Every time, all right, Steve, strap on your leg. You know, grab, giving you a nice little squeeze on the leg. I'm thinking, look, I said, don't do that because you put me off. He goes, I'm only being nice to you. So I said, oh, well, you're being nice, you know, but you don't have to keep touching my leg, you know, kind of thing. And when I
tell you, brother, let me tell you, you would have been guaranteed a pass.
Yeah. Well, no, because he was the instructor. He wasn't the actual one who was.
It was a joke, Steve. It was a joke, yeah.
I know, but I went for my test, and I was using my car. You know, we had the car fixed by then anyway. But they told me that I failed by my reversing. I hit the curb, and in them days, you know, one mistake, you fucked up. And I fucked up by hitting the curb when reversing. And my dad said, oh, yeah, just take your test again. And I thought, no, I can't be bothered. I didn't take the second test. I got rid of the car. I got myself a moped, using my moped to drive around with. Crashed on that one day. That steering went on that. I had a brand new suit, which I bought from the shop I used to work in, menswear shop. We'd been up to my nan's. My dad had his car, and like I followed him home, going through Dartford town centre. Went round near the police station, which we had to go past on the way home, up to like Dartford Heath and through that way. And my dad was in front of me. I'm trying to keep up, and suddenly the steering on the bloody moped went a bit weird. I went straight across the road and ended up crashing into these railings and ripping all my suit to shreds. And a police officer was just coming off duty, and he saw me have the accident, and he kind of like pulled up next to me. He goes, "You all right, mate?" He goes, "What happened?" I said, "Oh, the steering went." He goes, "Oh my God." He goes, you need a hospital treatment." I said, no, I just want to get home. He goes, "You know what, you can leave your bike at the station." I said, no, I'll just drive it a bit more slowly. Now, my mum and dad, you know, being in the car, didn't realise what had happened. Now, normally on that bike, I could have been from Dartford to home within about 10 minutes. And my mum and dad got home a lot earlier before I did. And when I did pull up, you know, about enough half an hour later, they shouted at me, "Where the bloody hell have you been?" And I said, "I crashed." They went, "What? You stupid sod. What are you going to crash for?" I was like, "I don't know. The fucking bike just went." So they saw the state of me, and like, my mum helped to clean my knees and my elbows up because I was all like, going across that bloody road. I scraped up my arms and legs and ripped my brand new suit up, which cost me £100 at the time. And I'd only worn it once, bloody thing. So I got the bike home and I tried fixing it, but I couldn't fix it, so I gave it to my neighbour. He tried fixing it, and he couldn't fix it. So it just stayed in the garden for about 2 years, not being used. And then when I met the missus, I couldn't bring the bike up here, up to London, where we stayed. So I gave it to Mrs. My neighbour, who was a friend of my ex-wife. And I left it in the garden for several years. It was only because her husband had 2 kids. They decided to strip it and sell it in fucking parts, didn't they, bastards? Never gave me no money or even asked permission for me, if they could take the bike and sell it for parts. No. I weren't too happy about that, I'll tell you. But I never bothered buying another motorbike or considered about getting a car. Couldn't afford it. Even with the bike, I nearly only just about afforded to buy the bike. And that was second hand. If I'm going to get something, I want to get myself one of those electric scooters. But I saw a little scooter out on the pathway one day, which was being thrown out. It wasn't an electric one; it's just like a normal kind of scooter. And I put my foot on it. I started pushing, and my balance was completely out. I nearly crashed into a fucking wall the other day. I thought, well, if I'm doing that on a normal scooter, what's it going to be like if I bought myself an electric scooter? I'll be crashing all the bloody time. So I'm not going to get an electric scooter. No, I might get an electric bike. I think with electric bike, I'm more handy with because, before I actually got this, the bike I've got, the second-hand one, I saw one of those electric bikes one day, and I was just walking around, and I was getting a bit tired. So you've got to register your credit card on a phone number, and once your card's registered, you tap it on the component on the bike, then it registers, and it costs you £1 to register the bike. Then it costs you the actual distance you travel. I went riding around for about an hour. I travelled about 6 miles just riding around. When I came off that bike and tapped my card, I checked my bank, and it cost me £25 just to ride around on a bike for 6 miles. I thought, well, fuck that, man. I can't do that again. That's why I decided to look out for a second-hand bike. Well, I wouldn't mind getting an electric bike actually later if I can afford one.
Well, if I do the walking thing, I do the walking thing for health reasons, not to travel.
Yeah.
Then no way. Get in the car, gone. Go to where you need to go to. Job done.
So because I have arthritis in my knees, there are times that I do want to go out and try to exercise my knees to see if I can make them feel a bit better. But there are times when I feel like, if I go out, it might make it worse. And sometimes it does get worse. I know I'm going to have operations on my knees later on. Because you can hear them, when you're walking up the stairs, you can hear the cracking of the bones and, the pain that they suffer with sometimes. Even when I'm just sitting here on the chair, when I get up, as soon as you're putting your pressures on your knees, it gives you a lot of bloody pain. So
what is it? What's wrong with your knees, actually?
Well, it's the kneecaps. It feels like when I broke my leg in the cemetery about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I went to the doctors and they said, right, we'd left
What's the diagnosis not the story. What is wrong with your knees? What have you been diagnosed with?
The bone is wearing away.
Right, so osteoarthritis.
Well, they said, with the bone actually wearing away, it will cause you pain, which will cause arthritis. That's what they told me.
Well, the wearing away of bone is a form. That's arthritis. So it's osteoarthritis. Yeah. Have you got a cartilage injury? Is your cartilage worn away?
Yeah, it is actually wearing away. It's not completely worn away, but it's actually wearing away.
Okay.
And they said that, over time it will wear away even more. And there'll probably be a time when it'll hurt so much you'll have to go to the doctors. And if the doctor sends you to the hospital and the hospital takes another x-ray and they say that you need your cartilage redone, then they'll do an operation. I thought it'd be like a bone transport, like a mother transport or something, but they said no, what they do, they put like a plastic one in.
Yeah, it's not a massively difficult procedure.
I'm not looking forward to it though. If I have
No, of course not. And try and avoid it as much as you can. And leg strengthening exercises to strengthen up the muscles that support your kneecap will help you a great deal. Moving about and getting about more.
Well, that's why I go out a lot more, but when I am out a lot more, it still makes me bloody knees hurt a lot.
Oh, yeah, it will do, yeah. That's what I say. You need knee strengthening exercises, building up the muscles that are around your knees, that support your knees. And it's less wear and tear because the muscles are stronger around you. Your legs are stronger, your muscles are stronger around your knees. And it'll help you. It'll take away the pain. You'll have more mobility in your knees because of it. Maybe try to take some supplements as well. Glucosamine will help you, things like that.
Yeah, but it's not going to repair the bone structure, though, is it? Because your bone's wearing away.
No, well, I didn't say that, but do you want to constantly be in pain? I mean, if this can stop you having the... by doing the knee strengthening exercises, and by supporting your knees, automatically you're having less wear and tear on the bones on your knees. So, no, it doesn't reverse it, but it slows down the process.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah. They told me what kind of exercise to do, kind of like press-ups and stuff like that, not actually getting on your hands and doing those kind of press-ups, but sitting down, lifting your knee up and down, leg up and down, and doing squat kind of press-ups and stuff like that. They reckon that might help.
Stand facing a wall.
Yeah.
Put the palms of your hand on the wall to support yourself, right? So your nose is almost touching the wall. Raise yourself up on your tiptoes and then slowly lower yourself back down so you feel it pull on the back of your legs. And do that like 10 times, 3 times a day. And another one. What?
They never told me to do that. They told me just sit down and bring your knee up to your kind of chin and then put it down again, kind of thing, and then stretch your leg out.
Yeah, well, these are muscles to strength to strengthen the muscles around your knees. So raise yourself up on your tiptoes, then lower yourself very slowly back down onto your feet. Another one is to lie on your back with both knees bent, so you lay with your knees bent up, and then sort of thrust your pelvis into the air as if you're trying to lift yourself up off the floor, and you'll feel the muscles around your knees go tight, and hold it for a few seconds and then relax it and do that a few times. And do both them exercises a few times every day for a couple of weeks, and you'll start to feel the difference from them. And there's more I can tell you about. I know loads of them.
Right, cheers.
They do help. I know they don't sound like they do, but they will help. You'll see it if you do them.
No, I'll try to do different kind of exercises. Try to get myself a bit more better. But sometimes it don't seem to work out. It seems to make it worse sometimes. And I know they said sometimes it will make it feel worse. It will get worse before it gets better, kind of thing. But once it starts feeling more painful, I'm thinking, well, am I doing it the right way? Should it be this painful? And I think, well, fuck it. If it's going to be this painful, I'm going to give up. And I tend to give up.
That's it, because you've either done too many or you've done it too fast. Because it's like you should feel a little bit of pain and a little bit of discomfort, but not a lot. If it starts to hurt too much, then you are supposed to stop and then pick it back up again. because a lot of people do. They start to feel a little bit of pain from it and think, right, that's it, I'm done. I won't do it anymore. And other people don't do the exercises or do them for a couple of days and expect to be cured within a couple of days rather than after a few months of building up muscle tissue, you know. So they give it up. They stop doing it and think, I'm not going to do that. It doesn't work. I'm wasting my time. It's like, well, there's a reason it doesn't work. It's because you're not doing it, you clown. But people don't listen, and then they start, it's like, oh, it's pointless. It's pointless. It's like, no.
Well, that's what, you know, even the doctor said, you know, if you get yourself a bike, you're exercising your legs and your knees. So that's why I got my bike, you know, and like I go out and, you know, I'm riding 4 or 5 miles around, you know, just exercising them. But sometimes, you know, halfway you got to stop because it gets too bloody painful. So you rest for about 10 minutes, then you get back on and you start again, kind of thing. You know, you have to get back home. So, you know, sometimes when you're out on a bike, you know, you're trying to exercise your legs and your knees, but after a while, you know, riding about, bloody fucking hurts like crazy.
That's because you're trying to move your own body weight. You're trying to move your own body weight on different gradients because you're riding a bike. What you need to do to strengthen your knees is ride a recumbent bike. Get on a recumbent bike at a gym. If you're on benefits as well and you've got an injury, then you could be given a 12-month pass for gyms on the NHS for a local one one that's nearby to you, and spend time on a recumbent bicycle. So you lay on your back pretty much. Pardon?
I didn't know you get that one benefits.
Oh yeah. Especially if you got and your doctor knows that you got bad knees. You know, yeah, absolutely. And so really, you sort of, if you imagine lying on your back like a dying fly and cycling in the air, the only weight that you're putting on your knees is the weight of your own legs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than try to move a bicycle and try to move your own body weight up a 20-degree, 30-degree hill or whatever, you know what I mean? And it will build your knees up.
You know, so the thing is like trying to get, you know, an appointment with the doctors around. It's like fucking, they said earlier, trying to get an appointment with the Queen. You can't speak to a doctor. And like, you know, if you try ringing them up, you're on the phone for an hour waiting on, you know, like a fucking long list. And when you get through to the reception, I need to speak to a doctor. Sorry, the doctors are too busy today, or there ain't no doctors that can talk to you. We'll have to contact you in the next couple of days, you know, kind of thing. And it could be any kind of like, you know, problem that you're trying to ring up for. And when they do supposed to ring you, they don't fucking ring you. I had a couple of times where they said, oh, well, the doctor will ring you up, you know, you got the mobile number, got your home number, you know, they definitely ring you, but they never fucking do ring you. You know, I was supposed to go and get some new medication for my antidepressants, that's running out. So that's one thing I've got to do today, is go around there and try and get no prescription for next week. But I'll guarantee you, I'll ask them. They say, right, go next week to the chemist and get it. I'll go to the chemist and it ain't been fucking done. Because they've done that for 4 times within the last 4 times I've actually asked for the medication. I've gone around the chemist and it's not been done. Oh, sorry, he forgot. Or, he was meant to call you to do like a review with you, book a review.
Yeah.
Well, none of that's fucking happened. And like, you know, 4 times it's delayed on my medication. Sometimes I have to snap the tablet in half, you know, until I actually get me medication.
You're on about pain medication?
No, my antidepressant tablets.
Oh, no, okay.
Because you can't. I've tried to loan my antidepressants, which I have done 3 times, but it had to go back up because of fucking shit on social media. But 3 times.
Well, sorry, but when you say that, sometimes you're running out of them, okay, or they're getting a bit low. Why are you having to snap them in half to make them last? When you start to get low, why don't you put in a repeat prescription before they start to run out?
I do. So like what I do, like I'm on the 45 mil, yeah, which is the highest one on mirtazapine.
Mirtazapine, yeah, I know it.
Yeah. Well, what I do is I get a 30 mil and a 15 mil. They used to give me a 40, but I said to him, I want to try and lower my antidepressants. And he said,
Right.
that's a good idea. So I said, well, can you give me a 30 and a 15? So when I'm not feeling as depressed, I can take the 15. If I'm feeling depressed, I can take a 30. And if I'm really, really depressed, I can take the 45. So that's what he done. Now, usually, that's what I do. If I'm feeling only slightly depressed, I'll take the 15. If I feel a bit more depressed, then I'll take the 30. But there are nights where I'm so totally depressed, I'll take the 45. Now, sometimes I run out of the 15 mils because I'm taking a lot more 15 instead of the 30 because I'm not as stressed out when I'm doing something, when I'm going out to bushcraft or, milk detecting or, just having a walk around or going to a car booty. So I'm doing something, I'm putting my mind at rest, I'm thinking of doing what I want to do that day. So I'm not feeling depressed that day, yeah. So I take my 15 and not the 30. So, but when I run out my 15 mils, I had to go on to the 30 mils. And I don't want to be taking the 30 mil, which I normally use, let's say what it is, if I'm only minor stressed, depressed, then I take 15. If it's medium depression, then I take 30. If it's full depression, I'll take 45. But say with me, I'm trying to lower it down because I'm not depressed as much as I normally am. So I take the 15s all the time. But sometimes I do take the 30 or the 25. But I'm always running that at the 15.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this. It seems to me that you're wasting your time because the way that antidepressant drugs work is they're cumulative. They're not like painkillers where you take them and that day within a couple of hours you'll feel better from them. If you think you do, then that is psychosomatic and like a placebo kind of effect. Because your doctor shouldn't be letting you regulate your own medication, especially not antidepressants. And do you know what I do for what I do, Steve?
No.
Have you ever known what I do?
No, apart from your band.
No, that's a hobby. I'm actually a therapist and a counsellor.
No, right.
That's what a lot of people have said when they've heard that.
Well, when the doctors told me, when I've told the doctors the way I do it, he's been okay with that.
That doesn't mean that what he's doing is right. And if that's the way he chooses to do it, I don't think you're getting the best of care because your levels will be up and down. I mean, and as you've said, sometimes you get more depressed and other times you're not. So you have to take tablets in different doses. Well, if you was continuously taking the same dose, you would reach a kind of balance. Now, the main thing that people complain about, or rather something that people don't like about being on antidepressants, and this is whether it's, monoamine oxidase inhibitor, SSRIs, tricyclics, any of them, is that they start to feel that they don't have any emotions at all, whether that's happy or sad. They feel in the middle, sort of grey. But that's the main one, apart from the side effects. But certainly not mood swings like lows, or then they're okay, so they don't need to take as much medication, or then they feel really bad, so they need to double the dose. Because it doesn't work like that. It takes time to build up in your system. Your levels will be up and down all over the place. That's what will be going on.
I've been doing it this way for over 2 years. And when I run out of the 15, I've only got my 30s left. And I don't want to be taking the 30 if I'm not feeling as depressed as I normally do. So I'll snap the 30 in half to make it so I get 15. Then I'll take the next part of that half the next day. Now, he told me I should be taking one in the morning and in the evening. But why should I be taking it if I'm not depressed in the morning?
Because mood changes. Your mood will change. Everybody's mood changes, even if they're not suffering from a mental illness or any kind of depression. Everybody's mood changes. Everybody has ups and downs. That's just the way life is. Even people that suffer from mental illnesses and depression will have that too. It's just that it's more pronounced with people that are on medication. But the fact of the matter is that you're regulating your dosage by your mood rather than letting the medication help you stabilize your mood. So you're taking the medicine to match your mood, then letting the medication help your mood. I mean, and apart from the medication, what other kinds of support you've been offered? Have you been offered CBT, DBT, talk therapy, anything like that?
No, nothing.
So basically, you're given tablets that you can take when you see fit, and you're left to it. Is the way that I'm understanding what you're saying.
Yep.
You need to be you need to speak to a different doctor, change your doctors, or insist upon some kind of CBT or talk therapy
So
to help you.
As I say, with the doctors around here, it's so hard to even get an appointment. It's like trying to make an appointment with the Queen. I've not seen a doctor for well over a year. Well over a year. It might ring up and say, well, what's the problem? And I say, well, like, I keep getting the headaches. Well, what medication are you taking? Ibuprofen. Well, that's better than what I would prescribe to you. So you just carry on taking ibuprofen. When they say, like, about depression, well, what are you taking at the moment? And I tell them, I said, like, I'm taking 15 in the morning, and probably the same in the evening. It depends on the mood I'm in. It depends on if I'm depressed or not. They said, well, we can continue doing it that way. You're doing a better way than I could explain for you to do it, because he could turn around and say, well, no, you take the full 45 every day. But why should I take the full 45 even if I'm not feeling depressed all the time, I want to try to get off depressants by doing it my way, in one way, but it don't seem to be helping at the moment.
That's the magic words. Is you're saying what's going on and the way that you're doing it, but you're admitting it's not working. Yeah. Now I know it's not going to work, because that's not how you should do it. That is not the way that you should be treated with mental health in any way, shape, or form. Even if you haven't been given any kind of support on the internet where you can get helping yourself by internet sites such as Head Start, volunteer workers that are willing to talk to you. Nothing from what you've said to me. You're all over. You're not all over the place because it's your fault, Steve. I have to stress that. That's not what I'm saying. All over the place because the support from the people that are supposed to be looking after you is non-existent. You're just given drugs that you're sort of regulating yourself, which isn't the right way to go. And it means you're just going to be on medication for longer and longer because your levels will be all over the place. Now, admittedly, there's a lot of conjecture about the effects of serotonin on the brain and chemical reactions in the brain causing depression and mental health conditions. But we know that they do have an effect and do help. Now, some medications are better than others. So I don't know how many ones you did. What you said, you're on mirtazapine?
Yeah.
Now, mirtazapine's okay. I assume that in the past you might have been given other ones like fluoxetine, citalopram, amitriptyline, things like that.
I think amitriptyline I was given first of all, but it seemed to make my depression worse. So he said, well, we'll take that off you and we give you mirtazapine. And I found that the mirtazapine has helped in some way, because I say sometimes I don't feel depressed, but there's some days I feel really depressed, and sometimes I feel only kind of like in between,
Yeah, I do. I know exactly what you're saying to me.
So I've been on mirtazapine for a good, I'd say about 5 years.
Okay.
I started on antidepressants after my dad died.
Okay.
And, they gave me one set and it didn't seem to be helping. So they said, well, we'll put you on mirtazapine, said that helps. And it took quite a while, before I even saw any kind of change. And there was times when I felt really better. I felt like I wasn't being stressed out or, anxiety or depressed or anything like that. A couple of years ago, before all this shit started up, I got myself so better. I was so happy in myself. I was doing a lot of stuff. I was going out. I was a chirpy kind of person. But when this shit started up again, then that's where I had to go back on near enough the full dose for, a good 4 or 5 months before I tried to start lowering it down again.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, that's the situation. Like, you know, when someone pisses you off and, you know, threaten to, like, fucking come and stab you and beat the shit out of you, you know, you realise what that does to someone. And, like, you know, I had suicidal thoughts as well. The depression accelerated. I thought I was nearly having to go onto a different medication and go onto like a 60 mil one or something like that. But I said, no, I don't want to be doing that. You know, I want to stay on the ones I am on at the moment. He goes, well, the maximum we can give you with mirtazapine is like, you know, 45. So I said, well, I'd rather be on 45 and take the full dose on that each time, which I did for, you know, about 4 or 5 months. And then I realised, like, you know, I wanted to try to cut down again. So I've done that, you know, I've started lowering the dosage down again. And that's why I've been doing it for the last couple of years.
The thing is temporary mood isn't an indicator of where you're at with your condition. And a lot of people, even people that have just got something simple, shall we say, as an infection. How many times when people have got an infection they'll be prescribed amoxicillin or something like that, fluoxetine, you know, penicillin, and they'll start to feel better after taking a few of the tablets, and they'll stop taking the medication. And it's the same with depression. People will be given antidepressants and they'll stop taking the antidepressants as soon as they feel better. But it's only when they feel better is it starting to kick in, really. And people should continue to take it for a long while afterwards, because it's about stabilizing the condition and making sure that you're okay to come off it, and only really come off it when your GP says so, and that you've had a stabilized kind of mood set for a long time. If you're constantly up and down with your medication, you've not been able to stabilize any kind of you've not been able to reach a stable condition regarding your medication and your treatment. Which means that it's going to be more difficult. You sort of, I've used this terminology in other things, but if you imagine like a small child chasing a balloon, and every time they get near it, they sort of kick it with their foot further away, and they just continuously chase it. Do you know what I mean? Like a little baby chasing a balloon and knock it. And that's what it's almost like that, because you're not getting to a stable condition with your medication.
But how do they know when you're ready enough to come off medication? Because if you, let's say, like I was continuing taking 45 mil, and then they decide, like, you know, you need to start taking an overdose to try to get you off it, yeah. Right, so then they say, like, you know, from 45 you go to 30 for 2 or 3 months, and then from 30 you go down to 15 for like 3 or 4 months. It's what I heard from someone else, that, you know, if your body's not taking that dosage, you know, even if you miss out, you know, because I think the doctor told me one time, right, if you run out of medication and you're supposed to take it, you know, if you've not taken one for like up to 48 hours, that can be seriously a risk to your health, you know, your life. They can't just stop you.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But how do they actually stop you from going onto that medication eventually?
Well, there's different ways of doing it. Now, one is stopping any medication suddenly is always seriously not worth doing. Another thing is, I'll just address this. If you run out of medication, or you miss a day, or say, for instance, you're supposed to be on 45 milligrams every day, by taking a 30 and a 15, just say, for instance, but you run out of 30, so you can only take 15 one day, then that's better than taking no medication at all. But if you're constantly taking 45 milligrams and you only take a little bit less every now and then because you've run out of tablets, that's not going to do you a great deal of harm. If you're constantly changing your dosage over weeks and months, then it doesn't have a full benefit. Now, when you've been on a certain dosage that has helped you stabilize your mood, and you've been showing signs of being a lot better because of being on that level of medication, and your mood is stabilized, and your GP decides that it's time to come off that medication, or indeed you think that you're ready to come off the medication, then there's a couple of different ways they can do it. Is obviously either to lower the dose so that you take that for a smaller dose over a few weeks as you gradually come off, or to go on it every other day. But it's very unlikely that they'll just stop you entirely and just say, okay, you've been on 45 milligrams of mirtazapine, and now tomorrow take nothing whatsoever, because you can have rebound effects, what's known as a rebound effect from stopping medication, where the original symptoms can come back twice as bad as they originally were, as well as other side effects that you feel physically, like nausea and feeling sick and dizziness and tunnel vision, and there's lots depending upon the medication that you get. But there is a way off them. You can come off them, but it will take longer for you to get to that stage where you can come off the medication if you're using variable doses than what it will if you stay at a specific uniform dose all the way through your treatment. And they're not diazepam are anti-anxiolytics. They're not classed as antidepressants, actually, Hyde. They're more they're anti-anxiety drugs, and they don't really prescribe them over here too readily because of drug misuse, really.
Edge mushrooms.
The mushroom, yeah, the mushroom things is a good thing.
See, like what I'm trying to say, right, is that one of the doctors told me, said that if you run out of medication and, for some reason, say like the chemist hasn't got that actual antidepressants in there, or you completely forget about, getting a new prescription, if you don't take that medication within 48 hours, it can be seriously affected. It could kill you or something.
No.
That's what one of the doctors said. He said it can be very serious to your health, and if you don't take medication, it can kill you.
No. One of the not a bad antidepressant, but an older antidepressant, one that would be monoxamine. MAIOIs. I'm tired because I've done that long stream. I can't remember, but it's monoamine oxidase inhibitors. And if you eat certain things with them, they can have interaction with food. Now, normally it's cheeses and things like that. And they can cause people that are susceptible to allergic reactions to have anaphylactic shock and things like that. But just stopping taking medication for a couple of days isn't going to cause a brainstorm that's going to make you keel over and die.
So I know with the antidepressants I take, with any kind of medication, there are side effects, and what my one does, it gives me psoriasis on my legs, with the itchy skin flake, kind of thing, where it comes up all red, and it's not pussy or anything. It's just like, know when you go and you step in a bunch of sting nettles and you get that red itchiness, it's like that constantly on my legs. Sometimes it kind of heals up sometimes if I'm using cream, but there's only one cream that actually stops it from itching, but it doesn't clear it up. And I've seen the doctor over that, and he goes, well, that's the side effect from your antidepressants.
Yeah.
And there ain't no way of actually clearing it up while you're on antidepressants. So that's why I tried lowering the dose down the way I thought might help me, so I can try to get off it, so it won't give me side effects, and I can get rid of me fucking psoriasis.
Well, there is a way is to give you medication for your psoriasis. There's a medication to help the inflammation, the dry skin settle down as well. I mean, it's not totally ideal to have to keep wearing, taking different medications to counteract another, but you can be given something to help that.
Let me go and get the one I've got. Oh, no, I've got the one.
Yeah.
I need to get a drink as well. Anyway.
What's going on in chat? Who have we got left in chat anyway? Hyde, you're still there. I think John might still be there. What we got? Have a look. The best antidepressant for me is magic mushrooms, but I haven't found any for years. Yeah. Psilocybin. Take it.
Dovo bet. ointment.
Let's have a look.
That's what I've been using sometimes.
Oh yeah, Dover Bet. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sometimes like takes the itchiness away, but it don't take the actual skin to see like what. Hang on a minute. Got one of the worst one left. So this can flare up really bad sometimes, but don't really see that. I can't seem to fucking.
Yeah, I did. I got a flash of it straight away. Actually, it's quite standout-ish.
This is the worst leg, but that one can flare up as well on the left. And when that really flares up, it really itches. I tell you, man. You know, I'll try not to itch it, but
surprised the GP hasn't tried to give you like something to help it, like Diprobase or Dermalex or some kind of hydrocortisone to help it.
No, he said with one of the doctors said while you're on antidepressants, it will keep coming back. Whatever medication. So the only thing we can do is give you that Dovafet and that stop it like itching. But while you're on antidepressants, it will stay there constantly. It won't go away. I've even got like little bits on. It's not as bad on my elbows. Sometimes my elbows do come up a little bit, but not as bad as on my legs. Like on my elbows, you only see 2 or 3 little spots coming up, but it's always on my legs. And I feel kind of like embarrassed going out wearing shorts when I've got that on my legs. I can't even go out with a pair of shorts and trying to get my legs kind of like sunburnt, making them look a bit more kind of browner. So I'm too concerned, like people might think, oh, look at him, he's got a disease. Well, it is a disease in one way, isn't it? I suppose, but
I don't think it matters what people think of it. What about they've not tried you with anything? You've no type of steroids, nothing like that.
No, nothing.
What about antihistamines? What about antihistamines?
No, they gave me nothing. All they gave me is that Dovafet.
Well, I would suggest trying antihistamines with them. Like even something as simple as Pirates.
What the hell is that?
Pirates is it's a pretty decent antihistamine. It's cetirizine hydrochloride.
Never heard of it.
No, fair enough. But you can get it from Tesco's or Asda or anywhere like that. Anywhere, it's over the counter medication. You don't need a prescription for it. But if you get Pirates, or it'll be sold as cetirizine hydrochloride, that'll help you. Because that reaction is probably down to the fact that it's your antibodies going haywire because of the medication. So if you take some antihistamines, hopefully it'll dampen it down a little bit, and just give it a go and try some Diprobase ointment or Sudocrem. Sudocrem is a good one.
Can you do me a favour later when you get time just to drop a PM on that medication?
Yeah, of course I will.
Because I can't even concentrate after fucking time.
Yeah,
Someone can tell me something and I'll go and forget the next day kind of thing. That's another thing me. I can't remember half the fucking stuff. I don't know. It's because the medication I'm on after time. I know depression can play with your fucking brain.
It's a very real illness, Steve.
I know. Some people think this illness is just like something we act on, and unless you got it, you don't know what your fucking depression can be like. I wouldn't like any of my enemies to have depression, but it's just one of the things that happens throughout life. It can be anything that can kick off depression. And my one started off with my dad dying and the wife like fucking pissing me off and walking out on me and making me homeless. That's what caused my depression most of the time. And I've been on it since 2012. I just can't get off it. And I've always wished I could get off it to make myself better. And
sorry, Steve, I'm just sending you the names of the medication.
Yeah. I just wish I could get off it and get myself, better and my life sorted out and get a decent fucking job. But you know, they say you can't get a job if you've got depression, anxiety, and stress, because you know, they are the main three dangers of like health issues you can get. And you know, no one that operates like machinery would probably employ her. And I used to work in injection molding many years ago as well.
Yeah, I think and that's another tough one, because it's easy to understand why people might think I've got depression, so nobody will want to employ me, nobody will want to do that. But there's a massive lean in the direction of equal opportunities, and mental health, or not being offered employment because of mental health, is considered discrimination, because it's a medical condition. And it's more about not being able to get the job because of that. It's more about being right within yourself, wanting to go out and do it, and being able to keep a job, and wanting to get out there and having the confidence to find a job. Because you shouldn't be discriminated against because of a medical condition, which is what depression is, and any kind of mental illness.
So, I've always said, like, people moaning bits saying, "Oh, scumbag," on benefits, taking the taxpayers' money. Well, they don't realise that I have worked, a good near enough 3/4 of my life, and I've paid my taxes and all that kind of shit. Yeah, so I say that I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm entitled to some of that fucking payment back through, like unemployment or whatever. If I could go out and get a job tomorrow, I'll be straight off the unemployment. But it's impossible because, the depression, the stress, and anxiety is stopping me from doing it. That's why sometimes I'll try to go out and do voluntary work. And I have done voluntary work over the last couple of years. I worked in the one in Mitcham when I was in temp accommodation. But I only worked there for a day because I don't know what happened, but I went seriously ill after picking that book up. And after going to the church and getting blessed, I felt a lot better after that. So I think that book must have had some kind of like negative energy attached to it. But 2 years ago, I was working for, what is it called? A different charity shop in Mitcham. And I worked there for about 6 months until my knees started giving me a lot of pain. So I had to say to them, I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to go to the doctors, once I start feeling better, if you need me, I'll come back in. So I didn't go there for about a year. And it's like earlier in the year, this year, I went up to her, I said, look, my knees ain't as bad, I can walk on them, do you need me in here? And they said, well, no, we got enough staff right now. But they kept me on the books in case they do need me. But she's always getting new people in there, so they don't really need me. But at least I've done charity work. I wasn't sitting on my arse. I was doing something, for the public. I was bringing in money for the charity as well. I even donated stuff to the charity as well.
Right, in answer to your question, John, once you've had a diagnosis that is the case, then yes, or the equivalent of, it's not a big, they try to stay away from things, because High's mentioned one as well, of Ritalin, which is another big one, but you should be able to be offered something. It's getting the diagnosis first, John, which I hope happens sooner rather than later.
Look, I want to ask you a question here, because I've never known what this is, but ADHD, is that through to depression, or is that through something?
No.
So I don't know what ADHD is. I know I've heard a few people say that they got it, but I've never known what it is.
Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
When they're actually more active than anyone else.
Yeah, it's massive inboxes all over the place these last couple of days. It's not classed as it's a condition, but it's not a mental health condition in the strictest sense of the word. It's like broad autism spectrum disorder and things like that.
I've always saying, like, where they're over hyperactive or something.
Yeah, ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
No, so I was writing one way, but I wasn't too sure. I can be overactive sometimes. I don't think I've got it, but I think anyone can like be overactive sometimes.
Well, that can go along with mental health conditions classed as being moments of mania. Is what it would be like transient mania, rather than actually being part of you, or rather being the basis of your condition, rather just a part of it more than anything, I would say. But you do, that's the thing, you see, that's what manic depression is massive highs, massive lows, and that's where the lack of stabilization is in your treatment, is because your medication's all over the place. So you will experience highs and lows rather than a nice kind of middle ground. Do you know what I'm saying, brother?
I've actually used E45, and I do have citrusine for my hay fever.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
but I didn't think that would actually help with like psoriasis.
Oh yeah, there is better ones out there actually for skin disorders, but if it's down to a reaction to the medication, then it's antihistamines. Your histamines are firing, aren't they? You need antihistamine will help the situation.
So I've got E45 that I used, and that kind of like done the same as the one I just showed you, that Dover Bet, what's it called? That helps from it flaring up, and it doesn't stop it completely. Sometimes it looks like it's healing, but then the next day it can come back a lot worse. But there are days where it's fucking itchy like mad, and you just can't stop itching it. And when you're itching it, it makes it worse sometimes because you're spreading it, aren't you, in one way? But citrusine, I've always used for me hay fever when I have it. But now they don't actually do citrusine over the chemist. Well, they do, but you've got to pay for it. At one time, it used to be on prescription, but they stopped doing it on prescription now. Same with E45.
Yeah, you see, would have thought that you would have been given some kind of at least topical treatment, like creams and that. I mean, a lot of the time they don't like to give you other medication on top of antidepressants because of some of them can be drowsy. The antihistamines. I don't know. I suppose like a hydroxyzine, promethazine, stuff like that can make you feel like nauseous and tired. And then if you have like fexofenadine, loratadine, cetirizine, they're non-drowsy, so they shouldn't make you feel. You shouldn't get anything from them really, but they should at least do a little bit of something. And because it's almost acting like an allergy, your body's reacting to the medication that it's taking, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I forgot what I was saying. But I use citrusine for when my hay fever kicks in, but that's actually started getting a bit better now. I don't go out when there's as much pollen. I try to keep away from a lot of dust. I do a lot more hoovering in the house as well. Sometimes the old asthma might kick off when the cat's fucking molting like crazy. Sometimes, but they did say they gave me medication for my headaches, and the thing is, I read the actual the sheet that gave me, and this is what I don't understand. They give you things that's supposed to meant to help, but the side effects are worse than what you're getting. They gave me some medication for my headaches one time. Yeah, can't remember what they were because I threw them away. But he said, yeah, these will do you, a lot better. Better than ibuprofen. So I said, all right, I'll try them. And I took them for about a week, and my head was, a lot worse, really banging some of the times, yeah. So I read the information inside, and they said side effects, chronic headaches. So why give me a medication that's going to give me chronic headaches when it's supposed to help to stop me chronic headaches? So I told him I'm not taking them. He goes, okay, fair enough. He goes, well, what are you going to use? And I said, I'm going to go back to ibuprofen. And I've been using ibuprofen for like 4 or 5 years. Like, you know, I'm not saying that they always help. You know, I can get a headache now, and it'll probably take about an hour for it to kick in and, you know, get rid of my headache. But the headache can go away for about an hour and come back again. And it can either be just like a little mind headache, or it can come back twice as bad as it was a few hours ago. But, you know, ibuprofen does help me a lot more than any other ones. I can't take, which is a bit weird, because I think there's the same chemicals in aspirin and paracetamol than they've got in ibuprofen. But aspirin makes me feel sick. Paracetamol makes me feel sick and nausea. But ibuprofen, I'm okay with them. I go to Pound and buy 3 for £1 all the time. So I don't know. There's certain like ingredients in certain medication that causes, you know, some of the actual side effects. But
well, I mean, in a lot of cases, it can be the fillers that they use rather than the actual medication contained within the pill, the actual active ingredient. Yeah, you know, I know bits and bats about medication, but obviously, I'm not a chemist. So you know, I don't claim to be a chemist, but I'm aware of generic and proprietary drugs and the differences between them. At least enough of them to have an understanding. And a lot of the time, it can be the fillers within them rather than the actual drugs themselves that you're reacting to. It can be the stuff that they're mixed with, because some of that can be fairly ropey, you know.
So I know when I've been to the hospital, you know, either contemplating fucking suicide, or, you know, when I've had I've had a mini stroke because of the stress and anxiety. A breakdown not long ago, and what was the other one I've done? Oh yeah, not long ago. I kind of like, I can't remember if it was the breakdown or if I just like felt really ill and I rang. Oh, it's chest pains. I was having a lot of chest pains. And this was about a month or 2 ago. So I rang 111 up and I told them what's going on. Oh, it's because it's that gastroenteritis I had. Remember I told you about that, yeah? That's
yes,
what
I do.
put me in hospital. I told them about that. You know, I was going to the toilet, I had a lot of diarrhea, I was like shaking, cold sweat, you know, throwing up everywhere. And they said, well, what we're going to do is get a doctor to ring you and see how you feel when they ring you. So they, just before they rang me, I was back in the bathroom. You know, I was in the bathroom 3 or 4 times that day. So I told them what was going on. They said, well, we're going to send an ambulance round so I can take you to the hospital and check you up. So they took me down the ambulance, and would you believe, the thing that they put on your finger malfunctioned twice.
Yeah, the oximeter.
Yeah. The thing that they put in your ear, that didn't work at first. So she took it all apart, put it back together, stuck it in my ear, and it practically burned my ear drum out because it just went really red hot for some reason. So I couldn't take the temperature in my ear. Then when they put me on the monitor, the CG scan, yeah, in the ambulance, that malfunctioned twice. So, you know, the finger thing malfunctioned, the ear thing malfunctioned, and the CG scan malfunctioned.
The ECG.
Yeah, all 3 malfunctioned in the ambulance that day. So they, you know, it took them 3 times to get the CG scan, you know, to print out. And then the printing like was coming out all fucked up and reading the wrong signals. So, you know, they said, well, what we're going to do, you know, we've got what we need, you know, we'll take you down to the hospital. I said, I don't really want to go. She goes, well, you don't have to go, but we would advise you to go, you know, because, like, you know, the readouts we're getting ain't accurate because, we, as you can see, we got malfunctions. So I said, oh, all right, then I'll go. So I went down there, and normally when you go in the hospital, you get the white band, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, with me, they give me a red one because I'm allergic to medication. And, that's, I didn't want to go down here, but I'm glad I did because they said it's like, they even done an x-ray on my chest thinking it could have been like a mini heart attack or something, yeah, but lucky enough it came back negative. He said it's not a heart attack. And the doctor said it sounds like gastroenteritis, and there's several different types of gastroenteritis. Like there's one, when he told me off, he goes, I'm going to have to go back to my colleague and discuss what we're going to be doing. This medication what could give you, but I need to find out what medication to give you. I said, all right, fair enough. And while he went to talk to his colleague, I looked on there and there's like top 10 of, let's say there's like different types of gastroenteritis, but the top 10 said if you've got more than 6 of the things that says in the top 10, then you've got like aggressive kind of like gastroenteritis, which is more serious than normal gastroenteritis or whatever it is. So I checked up on it and I was like 7 of the things it said on the top 10 that I had. So when he came back, I told him, he goes, yeah, that's what you have got.
For symptoms, you mean?
Yeah, symptoms.
Forget about symptoms. So you've been diagnosed with gastroenteritis or GERD?
No, it was gastroenteritis.
Okay.
So I said
what
to
were
him,
you given for that?
I think I still,
Omeprazole, lansoprazole, esomeprazole. What did they give you for that?
this one, I can't even fucking pronounce it.
Yeah, omeprazole, yeah.
Yeah. So he told me to take that for a week. He said, don't take it more than a week. He said, like, if it continues, try to get in touch with your doctors and discuss if you need to continue doing it. But after 7 days, I still kind of like didn't feel too good. My stomach's still playing up. So I thought, well, fuck it, I ain't going to bother ringing up the doctors. So I took a few more extra throughout the week. So I used like, because on these like 28 tablets. There's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15, 16. So I took about a week and a half worth. So I went onto a second week, and then suddenly I started feeling a lot more better, and I wasn't getting, the problems I was getting. So I kept them just in case I get it again. If I get gastroenteritis, I'm not going to be ringing up the fucking hospital or 111. I'll just start taking them. So usually when I get like diarrhea and stuff, I take the old what they called Imodium.
Okay, yeah, Imodium.
Yeah, but he said that Imodium ain't gonna. It will help, but he preferred me to go on there.
Well, you take Imodium, you can end up getting okay, got you, John. I'll read that later. When I come off here, I'll read that. You can end up getting stomach cramps and just ending up going on Buscopan, side effects of which can be gastroenteritis type symptoms. You just end up in a vicious loop.
I was on that loo for about an hour the first time, man. Fucking throwing up. Lucky there's like a little container in the bath, like plastic container. I was like fucking shitting like crazy. I was throwing up. I was sweating compulsively. It felt like, the whole of my body was going to explode, kind of thing. And like, I was able to get up and clean myself and stuff like that, but I was so fucking weak. I practically enough passed out on the floor. And I thought, well, if it's that bad, I'm going to have to ring 111 up, which I did do. And I said, yeah, good job you did do it, because it could be anything, especially getting chest pains as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you don't mess about or play when it comes to chest pains. Take any chances. You just get to the hospital, get looked at.
Yeah. Well, luckily they said it's only down to the gastroenteritis that was causing you to have the chest pains. It's not a heart attack. Anyway, thanks for coming on. I'm going to show off and get some sleep.
No worries, Steve. Thanks for having me on for the short discussion.
Yeah, cheers for giving me the info anyway. Yeah.
No worries at all. Like I said, it's not something to tell everybody about what I do really. So you weren't to know that I was sort of in that kind of field. But
I thought your main job was like in a band and stuff.
Yeah. Over the years, I've been in a sign band when I was younger. Yeah, but I went to university studying psychology. Yeah.
And what did you say? Send in the sample of feces each year. We pass the 50 to check for blood in the shit. I have that. I have like hemorrhoids and piles sometimes. And they gave me medication, for internal use. So sometimes that works, sometimes it don't. I think that's also down to stress and depression, hemorrhoids and piles. Yeah. All right, cheers, Dave. I'm gonna go, and I'll catch you when you stream next.
Probably in the next couple of days, but just for a few hours. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing a particular long one. But if you're around and you've got time to jump in, you're welcome, Steve. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're doing your 24.
Probably next one if I do decide to do one.
Well, hang on a minute. You said you're going to do a short one, and then when I've asked you, well, on the next one, so are you just going to do a couple of hours, or are you going to do 24 hours?
No, you didn't listen. You said when you next do one, and I said in the next couple of days, and I'm going to do one just for a couple of hours, and then you said when are you doing your 24? Yeah, so I'll do a normal one in the next couple of days, and I don't know, I might not even do a 24-hour yet. I mean, I've done an 18-hour. There's nothing to prove, is there? But I don't know if Brandon does one at 24 hours, I'll feel obliged to do the same or one even longer, just to wind him.
You want to beat the guy?
Just to wind him up, he loves it. No, because then he'll do an even longer one just to wind me up. It's great.
Yeah, well, as long as it's just a wind up and you have to laugh at it, I suppose,
Absolutely, yeah. I was while I've been talking to you, I've been messaging him on Twitter. Actually, I've been chatting to him as I've been chatting to you. He's a good lad. He's a good bloke.
I could not do a 24-hour. If I was to do it, it'd be like me doing like a normal stream and then going to bed and putting the DVR on for the rest of the time. With the DVR fucked up as it is at the moment, with screens not working properly, even camera 3 went off for a couple of, about half hours a day, which I noticed. I don't know why, but on the living room ones, they got the wavy lines. The kitchen one is like sparkly. The one on the balcony is just like wavy, flickery, static lines. So I'm hoping to get a new one by the end of the year anyway, around about Christmas time, when my mum gives me my birthday and Christmas money. That's when I'll get a new one. I will try to do some live streams with them, but it'll have to be the small screen one, so it's not actually affecting, because I can't be doing like a living room when you've got, massive wavy lines, because it's just don't worth it. I'd rather do it small screen, so I ain't actually seeing them as bad that way. I'll see how it goes. All right, mate. I'll catch you later.
All right, buddy. Yeah, you take it easy, Steve. Thanks, everybody who's watching.
All right, good night, everyone. Catch you later. I'm going to go. Well, I don't know if you heard me, but I screwed up there. I left the studio. I meant to end the broadcast, which I forgot to do. So if I just jumped out of the studio, it would have been running constantly and we would just had a blank screen. So yeah, I'm going to go and end the broadcast now, and I'll catch you whenever next. Right, well.